ask for your vote on August 18th. Political advertisement paid for and approved by Crystal K. Kenzel, Republican, for Collier Clerk of the Circuit Court and Comptroller.
People often ask me, how did you grow my shower door so big and so fast? But the answer is, we didn't. What we did is we took our family business, we hired great talent, trained our staff, and developed our product. Now, after 17 years, my shower door has 8 frameless shower door showrooms, with our newest in Cape Coral. If you're looking for a frameless shower door company that you can trust and research, and you want to see more, go to myshowerdoor.com.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com, Babbel.com.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. I am so glad you're joining us today. 239-479-5592. That is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. As you know by now, streaming live on YouTube. On our YouTube channel, Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Please subscribe while you're there. It helps to keep that going. It helps to keep Facebook going. You get to see, watch, and listen to the program as it unfolds. And there's a lot to unfold today. Not only will we have a discussion about the lowering of prescription drugs today, the president making that announcement yesterday. We'll have State Representative Dane Eagle on with his majority House leader here in the state, because I want to talk to him specifically about what we did here in the state that apparently is the model that was being used by the president nationally to lower prescription drugs. What exactly did we do last session? And even the fact that we're not even sure where the budget is this legislative session, as everything has been going on around us. There's a lot of unanswered questions about last legislative session and where we stand, especially with the budget in this era of COVID. So I want to have State Representative Dane Eagle on with us, and that'll be at 7:30. Also coming up this morning, if you had a chance to listen to yesterday's mess, in some ways pretty disgusting mess on Capitol Hill with the Attorney General, who testified before the House Judiciary Committee, which turned out to be a politicized attempt by Democrats to discredit him. And if there are people that were trying to figure out whether or not there was a good, logical reason why Attorney General Barr was on Capitol Hill yesterday to answer Democrat questions, you might want to just listen to a portion of this.
Isn't that correct? No. What is correct is that, what is corrected on February 10th, Monday, I gave instructions as to what the... my time. Yeah, I'm answering your question.
Well, you got to let him answer.
Reclaiming my time.
Okay. That's just a portion of what you're going to get ready to hear, which was Attorney General Barr shut down by every single Democrat as the Democrats stood there in demagogue the whole time. And why would they do that? You know why? Because it's political season. We're less than 100 days away from the election, and they want to try to score political points. But remember, there's another very, very important reason why you would want to bring the Attorney General to Capitol Hill. And it is, again, Democrats playing the long game, not playing the short game. It's very important to know the distinction. And we're going to explain that coming up, plus some more audio on what happened there on Capitol Hill. And not only that, but boy, did we get some interesting news yesterday. On the heels of the demagoguing against the state of Florida and the governor and by default the president of the United States, you know, how awful things are here in the state of Florida and the amount of deaths and everything that is going on and how the governor has no clue what he's doing. And if you look at everybody else across the country, everybody is doing splendid when it comes to COVID. All we're seeing is a spike, an increase in cases. This is awful. Our kids can't go back to school. We don't know what to do. Well, this is interesting because yesterday, there were a couple of news outlets locally who decided to take a moment to actually kind of sort of tell the truth as to what is going on right now. We don't need to get too carried away because we don't want to get people too excited because good news means good news for the governor and the president. We don't want to do that. But here's the news press saying that COVID-19 patient numbers are declining at Southwest Florida hospitals. Now, what did I say would happen with regard to this specifically? I said last week that the mask mandate issue, and one that I talked about on Wink News yesterday, one that we're going to talk a little bit about today, one that I'm sure is going to come up throughout the following weeks, the mask mandate issue is a win-win situation for mask mandate left-leaning individuals. What are you saying? That if you want to wear a mask and protect yourself, you have to be some kind of liberal, some kind of leftist? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it's a lose-lose situation for the governor and for the president, and it's a win-win situation for everybody else. Okay. Because we find out that COVID-related hospitalizations in Southwest Florida's largest healthcare system are at their lowest level in weeks, according to administrators. Now, I said that what'll happen is you will have people that will come out and say, if the cases start to go down, like right now, that they will say, oh, you know what? It's you masking up. That's what it is. It's you being responsible and you wearing masks. And you see, we told you all along that if you would just wear your mask, that everything's going to go down. Or it's a win for them on the other side, which would state that if cases continue to go up, as we've been told, as they're spiking in the state of Florida, it's because you all don't listen to us. We've told you we want a statewide mask mandate. We've told you that the governor has failed in his position with COVID. And in turn, that means the president, of course, because, you know, they're 1 and 1A. They're the same people. And so the president is a failure. So everything has failed. It's a win-win for all of them. It's a lose-lose situation for the governor. Well, what do we find out yesterday in this news press article? The downturn is mirrored at a state level. Florida on Monday reported its lowest daily numbers of new cases in 3 weeks. Hey, for 3 weeks, we've had the lowest cases in 3 weeks, but we're hearing about these numbers going down. Are we championing the numbers? Maybe not so much in the media. So what do we find out? We find out that according to what the CEO of Lee Health, Larry Antonucci, and others have been talking about, it's not a coincidence. It's because you all have been listening and you've masked up. And because you've all been good, responsible citizens and you've masked up, that is why the numbers have gone down and the social distancing. Now, we can't prove it's the social distancing alone or the masking alone or the masking together with the social distancing or neither one of them, or maybe people are keeping their hands cleaner, or maybe because people are not going to work as much so they're not out as much. I mean, we don't know exactly why this has happened, but one thing for certain is we're going to take a position on why we believe it's happened. And that brings me to something else that's interesting about this story, and it's this. And I want to get to this quickly because I don't want to get to a break. Commissioner Brian Hammond has had a very good Facebook page on this, as he has talked about the cases here in Lee County and in the state, and has been following this. And what an interesting graph that he put up on the Commissioner Brian Hammond Facebook page. And he said for the last 4 weeks, he's tracked Florida counties that have mask requirements in place. The chart below that I'm looking at right now, that you can see if you go to Commissioner Brian Hammond's Facebook page, shows how we compare to 3 other counties that have a similar population and a mask requirement in place. And from the chart, you can see that Lee County has experienced the same downward trend in COVID cases as the others. In other words, everybody, the mask mandates that were in other places like Pasco, Pinellas, and Duval County have the same downward trend as we have here without a mask mandate. I'm just putting that out there. That is the information that he has per capita, same size, similar counties. So why do we need a mask mandate again? Why are we doing this? Why are we having people that are demanding that the governor do this? Well, that's an interesting question, and I might like to put that at you. 239-479-5592. Why are we doing this if we're starting to show the downward trend? And I hope that people are championing this downward trend. Oh, no, they won't, because we don't want to get too excited, because I'm sure that there'll be a spike sooner or later. Well, naturally there will be, but naturally we knew that there was going to be a downturn as well in cases. All right. Before we take a break right now, and play some more audio on Attorney General Barr, I want to remind everybody that it is exciting to see the change.org numbers moving up. For those that have texted the word Trump to 239-479-5592, as you have been doing, it's been fantastic to watch the numbers go over 2,500 plus. I think we're getting close to 3,000. My fingers are thinly spread apart this much if you're watching on YouTube. And it is exciting because the cancel culture that is coming for Southwest Florida ultimately is not going to stand in this county. And for those that are looking at Lee County and saying we got to get rid of the name, well, thanks to you. And as we continue to talk about this, more and more people are recognizing that we have to stop the cancel culture. And so we would love for you to put your name on that change.org petition. And moving forward, changing the name of Lee County to Trump County, because look, we're going to get ahead of the cancel culture. You want to cancel? Well, guess what? We're going to cancel you. And so I love that people are getting involved in this. We've got more coming up. We got to talk about official logos. So that's something we're going to talk about this morning, because, we've got to have something, an official seal, if you will, of the county. So I'm looking forward to getting into that discussion as well. All right. 239-479-5592 is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line, streaming live on YouTube at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Please, while you're there, subscribe. We appreciate it. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along with traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
Good Wednesday morning. Midweek commute a little congested over the Matanzas Pass Bridge. There's a disabled vehicle slowing traffic heading towards Main Street. Also slowdowns in Fort Myers on 6 Mile, heading northbound towards Daniels. Daniels very busy as well, heading east to Tree Line, and starting to see that morning rush on MLK Boulevard heading towards I-75 if you're heading west. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
92 degrees with our heat index between 100 to 105 for your Monday, as we are going to be developing a round of some hit or miss scattered storms, especially this afternoon and this evening. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
This Fox Business Report is presented by Gulf Shore Business Magazine, online at gulfshorebusiness.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
An iconic American company gets a new lease on life. Kodak, once a leader in photography, wins a $765 million government loan to shift to drug production and reduce the country's reliance on foreign drug makers. An internal memo shows Spirit Airlines plans to tell unions Friday that 20 to 30% of workers may be furloughed in October due to the pandemic. Congressional lawmakers will grill CEOs from Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google's parent Alphabet today. Tough questions expected about how their business practices and data gathering have hurt smaller rivals. And slip as investors weigh the possible outcome of the next COVID relief package. The Dow lost 205 points. I'm Carmen Roberts.
How you guys doing this morning? Good to see you, and thanks for joining us, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate it. I'm sure if you're here, you probably have already, so that's great. And I'm looking at my, what is that? I got a piece of, that was very strange. I had a piece of paper stuck to my ear. What the world is that? Did anybody notice that? No, okay. You guys got to help me out a little bit. If you see something that looks unusual, I had a piece of paper stuck to my, it was like a piece of tissue paper. Can you guys help me, please? And if you see that next time, would you let me know? All right. Yes, I'm seeing all this stuff on hydroxychloroquine and the doctors that were taken off of social media. We're definitely going to talk about that. That's coming up and more. So, good morning, Roger and Ronnie and Gator Lynn and Gerald and, yep, Lots of folks that are chiming in, so love to hear from you this morning. Good morning, Gary and Ronnie. And so we'll talk more about what you want to talk about this morning coming up. Just keep the comments coming up on your Facebook and your YouTube. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't done this already, the way we're going to keep on Facebook, keep it up, is by subscribing to the YouTube channel. So that keeps us going. So even if you went there to YouTube and it's not where you prefer to watch, that's fine. If you subscribe and go back to Facebook, that's cool. All right, we'll be back in a minute.
Appraiser, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Matt Caldwell, Republican, for Lee County Property Appraiser.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Have my friend Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples, on the phone. And Dave, you know, I love the selection of floor coverings you have at Floor Meisters. It's fantastic. I've been there myself, and my new home is beautiful with the Dreamweaver carpets. Can we talk about this, the selection, the durability?
Yes, it's called Twistex. It's a 3-ply yarn. The carpet is very, very dense. It's so dense it even has a stair warranty on it, plus stain warranties. And this would be just perfect for Jake because it has a pet accident warranty.
There you go.
It will clean.
Right. Wow. That is interesting, the way the technology is on these Dreamweaver carpets. And you have quite a selection there, too, of course.
Yes, we do. We have 9 rolls, this in stock, but it's available in 13 patterns, 12 colors to a pattern. This stuff is beautiful. It's the hottest thing since sliced bread.
So you want to see it for yourself? Go to the Floor Meisters. You're going to really love it. 6281 Naples Boulevard next to Costco. Give them a call, 239-596-4964, or on the web at floormeisters.com.
Your local 1-hour air conditioning and heating team is open and ready to serve you. AC isn't a luxury, but rather is essential to your life. Give our team a call at 844-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Today, businesses are starting to bounce back, but what if you could do better than that? What if you could adapt and find new ways to succeed? With new customers? Well, Comcast Business wants to help you do just that. Learn how you can not just bounce back, but bounce forward at ComcastBusiness.com.
Lee County Commissioner Ray Sandelli has the business experience and conservative principles we need on our county commission, and Governor Ron DeSantis agrees. When Governor DeSantis appointed Ray Sandelli to the county commission, he said Ray's great business and military background will be of benefit to the community, and he has not let us down. Ray Sandelli is committed to continue working with Governor DeSantis to fight for clean water, to rebuild our economy, and to bring new jobs to Lee County. A Navy veteran, Ray Sandelli was an officer, aviator, and member of the prestigious Blue Angel flight demonstration team. And as a businessman, his career spanned for more than 40 years from coast to coast. Ray Sandelli knows what it takes to create jobs and grow an economy. He stands for lower taxes that puts more money in your pocket and less regulations to get government out of the way of job creators. Voting by mail has begun. Send in your ballot today with a vote for Ray Sandelli for Lee County Commission District 3.
Paid by Ray Sandelli, Republican, for Lee County Commission District 3.
That's what sleeping with a CPAP sounds like. If you can't use CPAP, imagine pressing a button and it sounding like this. That's sleeping with Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with one click of a remote. That's right, just a button. If you have sleep apnea, great sleep awaits at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Why isn't it true?
June 9th, I'll get to that, Mr. Barr.
I mean, does it have
Mr.
to do
Barr,
with
I will
quibbling
get
over?
to that. Reclaiming my time, you answered the question.
Okay.
I have another question for you. On June 19th of
No,
2020.
actually, I need to answer that question.
Mr. Attorney General, you did answer the question.
No, you
I'll
said
give
under penalty of perjury. I'm going to answer the damn question.
If you're wondering what it was like yesterday during the House Judiciary Committee, Attorney General Barr, who had to answer questions as to why he would send stormtroopers, not my word, Nancy Pelosi's words, as you can imagine. That
human scum.
All right, that's not very nice. That Nancy Pelosi would use that language, and then did she take it back? We're going to play some audio. Yeah, on Capitol Hill, House Judiciary Committee, Attorney General Barr is up there, and the Democrats made it into a complete and utter circus. Did you expect anything less? That was the Attorney General being told under the penalty of perjury to answer questions. And then when the Attorney General was trying to answer questions, he was not allowed to answer questions, because that's what the Democrats are all about right now, is not allowing the Attorney General to answer the important questions that they brought into Capitol Hill. It was just an absolute circus.
Isn't that correct? No, what is correct is that, what is corrected on February 10th, Monday, I gave instructions as to what
Reclaiming my time.
Yeah, I'm answering your question.
Well, you got to let him answer. Reclaiming my time.
On February 10th,
sir.
On February 10th, I directed.
Reclaiming my time, sir. Reclaiming my time. And I know you don't want to answer.
You are wrong, Mr. Attorney General. He's found the investigation had been initiated properly.
He said he found
reclaiming my time without political bias.
I can't do it. There was a lot of that. So you're asking why? What was going on here? Why would they do this? It was a farce. It was an embarrassment. The House Judiciary Committee doing one thing. And they were trying to embarrass the Attorney General, who was there under oath to answer questions that they would not allow him to answer, because they never wanted the answer to the questions to begin with. The reason why they brought Attorney General Barr to the House Judiciary Committee yesterday morning was to try to defend questions that he was not going to be able to defend, to make him look bad, because they were going to consistently interrupt him, which is exactly what they did. The purpose is obvious: to make the Attorney General look bad, to make it look like he is just a puppet for the president, and he's going to just do whatever the president tells him to do. And of course, that's not the case. But the second part is another one that I don't think enough people touch on, that I think is just as important, and it's this. Every single time you have someone like Attorney General Barr going to the House Judiciary Committee, this is on record, everybody, forever. This is part of the congressional record. This means that people can always dip back and pick and choose what they want to choose to make the president look bad, even into the future. It's ugly and it's awful. It shouldn't be that way.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
It's Kaylee Kobe at Kobe Coin. It's been almost 5 minutes since you have heard an air conditioning company commercial all day long. Blah, blah, blah. So how do you pick the best? First, only pick a company with NATE certified mechanics. Next, the license holder should also be the owner, not some random license. And you want someone who has stood the test of time. In other words, you want Kobe Cooling.
When you think of air conditioning companies,
we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use.
License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949. And now offering Kobe's exclusive brand, the Florida Reserve. Call and ask us about a 10-year guarantee with no hassle warranties.
Conservative businessman Kevin Ruane knows what it takes to balance a budget, create jobs, and grow an economy, and has the record to prove it. As mayor of Sanibel, Kevin Ruane put his conservative principles and business experience to work. He cut taxes more than 26% while slashing debt and rebuilding the rainy day fund. He'll do the same thing as our Lee County Commissioner. Kevin Ruane knows that to get our economy back on its feet, we need to keep our businesses open, and he'll fight to do so. And he believes in individual liberties and personal responsibility. That's why he fought against government mandates forcing you to wear a face mask. Kevin Ruane knows our water quality is directly linked to our economy. He's worked with Washington and Tallahassee to get the funding needed to reduce Lake Okeechobee discharges. He's proven himself as the clear choice to get results to restore our local waterways. Let's put Kevin Ruane to work for us to create jobs and fix our water quality. Paid by Kevin Ruane, Republican for Lee County Commissioner, District 1.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and yes, Ryan Hammond Painting and Contracting. I love these guys. I love the company. I can tell you personally, I've used them multiple times over 7 or 8 years. A company that's been in Southwest Florida since 2001. The great staff, the way they communicate, every idea that my wife had that she wanted to do with regard to painting and contracting, boom, just like that, they were on it. So what can they handle? How about anything to do with restoration or repair? Coatings, like the coating in my garage is amazing. They do over 700 clients annually. You don't have to take my word for it. They're one of the highest reviewed contractors for what they do, maintaining 4.9 to 5 stars, and I can see why. So you're thinking about a repaint, you're thinking about your garage floor, you're thinking about some remodeling. I'm telling you, Ryan Hammond, Painting and Contracting. So give them a call today, 239-872-2559. That's 239-872-2559. See the experience that I have had with Ryan Hammond, Painting and Contracting, and you will say it as well. They are the best.
I'm Chris Foster. Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee go after Attorney General William Barr on topics like federal officers sent to deal with protesters in Portland, Oregon. Rhode Island Congressman David Cicilline asking,
Do you think Americans who show up to peacefully protest should expect to be beaten and pepper sprayed and have their bones broken by federal officers?
Well, I don't think that what was happening immediately around the courthouse was a peaceful protest.
and Attorney General Barr says his decisions are made independent of politics. Negotiations over another coronavirus financial relief bill are stuck on liability protection against coronavirus lawsuits. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says,
No bill will be put on the Senate floor that does not have liability protection.
McConnell liability on steroids. He has taken it to a whole other place.
That's House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. America.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News. Right now, potential tropical cyclone 9 is spinning towards Puerto Rico. People there are preparing for flash flooding and mudslides. On the free Wink weather app, you can see the new forecast track for the storm, which is possibly making its way to Florida by the weekend. Today, Naples will discuss mandating masks in the city. Collier County already has a mask mandate in place. That meeting will start at 8:30 this morning. Trust Wink News to be there. We are learning more about the school survey put out by Lee schools. A little less than half of parents have not taken it. 41% want face-to-face instruction for their children. 39% have opted for the Lee Home Connect, which allows kids to follow with class from home and return when they're ready. 19% have opted for Lee Virtual School, and 1% want homeschooling. Parents have until Thursday night to respond to the survey. We are seeing more positive trends at our hospitals. Both Lee Health and NCH saw a decrease in the amount of COVID patients they're treating. Lee Health says it's treating 248 people for the virus. NCH is treating 105 COVID patients. They still have plenty of bed capacity at the NCH hospital system. They're at 30%. We now know a 17-year-old is accused of attacking a teenage girl. Investigators have asked for your help to find KJ for a sex crime investigation. They believe he lives in Cape Coral and hangs out near the beach pub on Fort Myers Beach. If you can help, call Crime Stoppers at 800-780-TIPS. The case against the man accused of murdering a woman and her husband is on hold. Deanna Lorenzo and her husband Seraphin were shot in an Estero parking lot back in 2018. The court's pausing the case against Alex Zeffelhofer because of the pandemic. Zeffelhofer and another man are accused of killing the Lorenzos after trying to buy guns from them. Prosecutors have not decided whether to pursue the death penalty. I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News.
Wink News traffic.
Good Wednesday morning. Midweek commute a little congested over the Matanzas Pass Bridge. So there's a disabled vehicle slowing traffic heading towards Main Street. Also slowdowns in Fort Myers on 6 Mile, starting heading northbound towards Daniels. Daniels very busy as well, heading east to Tree Line, and starting to see that morning rush on MLK Boulevard heading towards I-75 if you're heading west. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, afternoon and evening, pop-up scattered showers and storms on a hot and humid day. Temperature of 93 with our heat index over 100. Gets even hotter Thursday, Friday, mid-90s, but with also a lower rain coverage. Only a few here and there. And then into the weekend, we do watch the possibility of a developing tropical system. A lot of moving parts, still a bit early here. But for right now, scattered showers and storms and breezy, but that forecast is always subject to change. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Get more than what the internet tells you. Get up to speed on The Drive with Trey Radel. Weekdays 5 to 7.
92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Building a dream takes hard work, discipline, determination.
Casey Asghar started with nothing, but his hard work created jobs. His discipline shaped a community. His determination built an American dream. Those same qualities built our nation. And to rebuild our economy, we need them now more than ever.
I'm Casey Asghar, and I approve this message. My family came to America to pursue the American dream. We owe it to our children to keep the dream alive.
Paid for by Casey Asghar for Congress.
The team at Best Home Services understands that this is a time of much uncertainty and much unknown. With this uncertainty comes feelings of fear and panic. Please know that we are here for you, today, tomorrow, and into the future as we move forward together, safely and comfortably. We are all in this together, and as stewards of our community, we promise to continue to provide you the services needed to keep you and your family safe. You are not alone. Best Home Services, our family protecting your family.
Conservative Ray Rodriguez shares our values, and he's fighting to deliver results. Ray Rodriguez stood with President Trump to ban sanctuary cities in Florida and hold government officials accountable who refuse to enforce our immigration laws. He also worked to pass E-Verify to protect American jobs and make it harder for illegals to find work. And he stood with President Trump to defend our Second Amendment rights. Conservative Ray Rodriguez worked with Governor DeSantis to grow our economy, cut taxes, and create jobs right here in Southwest Florida. When Governor DeSantis needed him, Ray Rodriguez delivered billions of dollars for water quality projects that will clean up our local waterways and reduce harmful Lake Okeechobee discharges. Ray Rodriguez understands water is our state's most precious resource and has been steadfast in prioritizing clean water. Ray Rodriguez is the trusted conservative we can count on to deliver results in the Florida Senate. He's 100% pro-life, stood with President Trump to fight illegal immigration, and delivered results in the fight for clean water.
I'm Ray Rodriguez, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid by Ray Rodriguez, Republican for Florida Senate.
I'm Harvey Massey. At Massey Services, we know every lawn is unique and requires customized care. That's why our environmental approach includes aeration, which allows water and nutrients to reach the roots of your lawn, as well as an irrigation program which ensures proper coverage and reduces water waste. With Massey's Green Up program, you'll enjoy a healthy and a beautiful lawn year-round. That's Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
I'm Jim Molinar. As a former police officer and assistant state attorney, I'm running to be the Collier County Clerk of the Circuit Courts. As recently reported in the Naples Daily News, some have demanded to defund the sheriff's office. I say no way. Utter chaos breaks out in the absence of strong law enforcement. I stand with our police and first responders and appreciate their endorsements. We need strong leadership. Vote for me, Jim Molinar.
Paid for by James D. Molinar, Republican candidate for Collier County Clerk of Courts and Comptroller.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Whole grain bread, it's far better for you. Not everyone can afford organic stores, Herman. Maybe you should check your privilege. I just meant that eating too much processed food is a big factor in weight gain, and What? Big people shouldn't be proud of who they are? Of course not. I mean, ask your doctor and he will tell you. He? Why would you assume the doctor is he? Is it because you assume a woman can't be a doctor? What is this? I have studied the martial ways of the social justice warrior. Fight me in an argument if you dare. Perish under the sword of my self-righteousness.
What was that? Okay.
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
Somebody sent me that. It was like a social justice warrior cartoon. I don't know what that's from. Somebody sent it to me. They texted over 239-479-5592. I have no idea. But that might be the funniest thing I ever heard was... I'm just telling you, listen, social justice warriors and the cancel culture, you don't think they're coming. They're even making cartoons about it. And it's not funny. It's part of why we have talked about this time and time again and getting more details on it coming up this hour about how we are not going to accept the cancel culture and the social justice warriors that are going to come into Southwest Florida. And that's why we've said, look, Lee County, Robert E. Lee County, you're going to come here and you're going to try to change the name. There's a minority of individuals who are going to decide for the majority what they think. No. I'll tell you what. We'll make the decisions around here. And if we want to change the name, we'll change it. We'll change Lee County to Trump County. And you have all been responding amazingly. Is that the right word? Amazingly? You have been. And you've been texting word Trump to 239-479-5592. That gives you the link to go to our change.org petition. We're getting close to 3,000 signatures already, and then some. People are recognizing this. They're buzzing about it and talking about it around Southwest Florida. Soon, we're going to have this discussion. We got to have a logo, right? We have to have an official seal for the county. So that's coming up. I think you all should be involved and be ready for that as well. More details coming up in just a bit on that aspect of it, because, you know, we got to move this forward. You're all in with us. And just so people understand how important this is, let me mention an article by Paul Bedard in the Washington Examiner yesterday that the cancel culture is recognized. It's a big problem, says Trump voters, and meh, say Biden backers. That is the headline. As Twitter slapped Donald Trump Jr.'s account today, and for those that don't know what he's talking about, how Donald Trump Jr. went into Twitter jail, as it were, because he retweeted something that many other people were retweeting. The America's Frontline Doctors, who went to Washington, D.C. to have a white coat summit basically on Capitol Hill to talk about what they think is happening in this COVID fight. One doctor in particular who was championing hydroxychloroquine and was saying how 350 of her patients have been using it and not one has perished. And why are we not talking about the use of hydroxychloroquine? And I don't even know if I can even... Is that like a dirty word? Is that one of the dirty words now on radio? Jake the Millennial back at the studio, do me a favor and Google that and look that up. Because apparently if I use the word hydroxychloroquine... I did it again. I hear the beeps coming through that you'll hear like static or something like that. Because certainly we're not allowed to say that. And Donald Trump Jr. retweets the video of America's Frontline Doctors and gets into Twitter jail, suspended over that. People are like, why are we censoring doctors and what they have to say and their opinion on hydroxychloroquine? I would hope and pray that it's not for political reasons, but it's happening. It did happen. It continues to happen. A new poll shows that more than 7 out of 10 supporters of the president believe that cancel culture, quote unquote, is a major problem. Do you see why we are talking about changing the name of Lee County to Trump County? Do you see that not only do people support it, they support the president in a big way, but they also understand what a problem the cancel culture is and how Democrats don't think so. They don't think it's a big deal. Now, when you see that the president and the president's son being hit with social media jail, scolding, fact-checking, because, you know, nobody ever fact-checks the fact-checkers. If they call themselves fact-checkers, that's good enough for the left and the social justice warriors and those that would like to cancel you. That when we see all of this, people have questions. You're not making everything better by doing this and shutting people's voices down. You're not making things better when you come into Southwest Florida, for example, into Lee County and say, we're going to cancel you. We are going to come in and we're going to change the name of Lee County to what we want, these being the cancel culture people. And when you do that, you don't make things better. You don't create a better society. You're not creating a better America by you doing that and not giving us a voice. That's why we cancel you out. People recognize what's happening. And even the discussion about hydroxychloroquine has been an interesting one. It's interesting because we mentioned yesterday on this show that there was a Yale professor in Newsweek, not a conservative outlet by any stretch of the imagination, but Newsweek, allowing this Yale professor put this out yesterday, or I think it was over the weekend, who said we've got a problem here, everybody, because I know what the key to defeating COVID is. We need to start using hydroxychloroquine. A professor of epidemiology at Yale School of Public Health, over 300 peer-reviewed publications, holds a senior position at the editorial board of several leading journals, and he said, we've got to stop this. He's talking about hydroxychloroquine. I'm looking at the article right now. It's inexpensive. If you give it very early in the course of the illness, it's highly effective, especially when given in combination with erythromycin and doxycycline. Zinc. Why are we not listening to him? Why are we canceling anybody who speaks about hydroxychloroquine? And we all know the answer. And unfortunately, it's the politics. It's the fact that the president, if the president said oxygen is good for you, you'd have liberals going, stop breathing. Everybody stop. Just hold your breath. Just hold your breath because oxygen, the president says oxygen's good. All right, maybe that's a little carried away, or maybe not.
Not a joke.
Joe Biden knows. Remember, I had the FDA commissioner, Dr. Stephen Hahn, on the show yesterday. May I remind everybody that, listen, I appreciate what the FDA is doing. I appreciate that we are trying to get a vaccine. That he came on the program, talked about the vaccine and the trials and how this all works. And I appreciate that we're trying to get to that place because that will help some to get to some sense of normalcy, to feel like, listen, we can get back out, we can go back to work, we can do all the things we're used to doing now because not only do we have a vaccine in place, but we also have the confidence of therapeutics. Well, may I remind you that, I didn't want to do it, but I had to. Dr. Stephen Hahn yesterday, FDA commissioner, went through all the therapeutics, all the things that we start to see now that we're using in hospitals, that doctors are using. But as he went through this long list, he did leave something conspicuously out. And I wanted to make sure that I brought it to his attention. Part of the interview from yesterday.
This is totally in the doctor-patient, and I'm a doc, so
right. No, I know, and that's why I appreciate you so much because you if anybody would know, you as a doctor, you would know, and certainly I think it stands to reason that every reasonable treatment and therapeutic that is out there, you certainly wouldn't. And I'm just throwing this out hypothetically. So just go with me on this. You would hate to believe that somebody would not prescribe something because of politics. That would be ridiculous, dumb, unreasonable, especially if there was evidence to show that it could help their patient. I can't imagine there would be a doctor anywhere in the country that would not want to find and use and especially if it's something that is easily and readily available, for them to save or help a patient. That they would not want to use it. And you as a doctor, of course, would know that probably better than anybody, that, listen, if you believe in your practice, knowing your patient as well as you do, the doctor-patient relationship, which is one that is unlike any other and many other relationships out there, that you would know whether or not something would be good or helpful, and you would want to do what you could in that doctor-patient relationship to help that person. That stands to reason, right?
True, that stands to reason, and that's exactly the situation we have here.
Okay, so that was the after the fact, as I talked about the concerns that I had, that hydroxychloroquine was out of the equation for some reason, and he talked about everything else except for that. And I think I brought up a point that's very important, that we would all hate to think that as we hear the news about Donald Trump Jr. being canceled, put into Twitter jail because they put out a tweet about some information that doctors were talking about on Capitol Hill, that they believed that there would be reasons to look seriously at not only the safety and efficacy of hydroxychloroquine specifically, and about going back to school. One doctor specifically saying that nobody needs to die from COVID because they're successfully treating COVID patients with hydroxychloroquine. We would hate to think that politics would be in the way, that if the president recommended it and it works, that there would be individuals, whether that be on the left, whether that be the media, in my opinion, both the same thing, that you would want to cancel these individuals out because of politics, especially like I brought up to Dr. Hahn and the FDA, that if we have it, it works. You wouldn't deny a patient hydroxychloroquine if you felt like it could help to save their life. Can you imagine the lives, hypothetically speaking, that could possibly have been lost throughout the weeks and months of COVID? If we come to find out that hydroxychloroquine is what it has been discussed by a Yale University professor in Newsweek, saying we've got to get on this because it's highly effective and we can save many, many lives, not my words, his words. So we just have to make sure that we're aware of that we keep that in mind. And we do not have a culture of cancel that has been out to a smaller degree, changing Lee County's name, but of course we get ahead of that and change it to Trump County. And then the larger issue of actually saving lives. We want to make sure we're not in that place. And I just hope and pray that we are. Or not. Get that right. All right, streaming live on YouTube. Thank you so much for you subscribing. Just go to YouTube, Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. And please subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate it. It helps to keep us going. We'll be back from break, give you more information on Trump County coming up. But in the meantime, let's find out what's happening with traffic up to the minute. Here's Sabrina Katz.
Good Wednesday morning. Midweek commute a little congested over the Matanzas Pass Bridge. There's a disabled vehicle slowing traffic heading towards Main Street. Also slowdowns in Fort Myers on 6 Mile, heading northbound towards Daniels. Daniels very busy as well, heading east to Tree Line, and starting to see that morning rush on MLK Boulevard heading towards I-75 if you're heading west. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
92 degrees with our heat index between 100 to 105 for your Monday, as we are going to be developing a round of some hit or miss scattered storms, especially this afternoon and this evening. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Rush Limbaugh. Well, this was inevitable. Now comes the coronavirus legal blowback. In Massachusetts, property owners are fed up. They're suing the state and the Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development. The issue is the eviction moratorium that was put in place during the lockdown to permit tenants to stay in their rental properties even if they haven't paid rent. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker just extended the eviction moratorium until the middle of October. A lawyer for the landlords explains that one of his clients, a nurse, is owed $20,000 in back rent. The nurse is now experiencing serious financial difficulties because the government did not give her a moratorium on paying her financial obligations. The lawsuit was filed in federal court. It accuses the state of violating the landlord's right to just compensation for what amounts to the unlawful taking of their property, violating their right to the legal process, and unconstitutionally impairing their lease agreements. Now, you can bet there could be a slew of lawsuits like this across the nation, not just from landlords, but from thousands of business owners going bust because power-hungry governors of liberal states want to keep everything shut down to damage President Trump. These blue state autocrats believe they are invincible and unaccountable, and we're about to find out whether or not they are right. As usual, trial lawyers right in the middle of the mess.
Do you know you might be overpaying for your Medicare supplement plan? Do you get lost in an alphabet maze of plans like A, B, C, D, and G, F? Would you like help getting out of the maze and finding the very best plan for you? We are experienced Medigap agents at Health IQ, and we are on a mission to give people like you fair and square Medigap rates. Health IQ is the only insurance agency that rewards seniors proactively working on their health, like eating right and exercising. You don't have to be an athlete to save money. We reward healthy lifestyles of all kinds. Do you take your vitamins and supplements? Do you stay active and in the know about things that impact your health? If so, you could save money with Health IQ. Let us help you take care of your Medicare supplement needs. To see if you qualify for exclusive savings on Medicare supplement insurance, go to healthiq.com/Medigap. To start saving, go to healthiq.com/medigap. That's HEALTHIQ.com/MEDIGAP.
Health IQ is an agency offering plans from different insurance carriers. No government or Medicare affiliation. Coverage and special rates not available in all counties or cases.
Take right all along to another level. Rename Lee County Trump County. Let your voice be heard at 925foxnews.com.
Dane Eagles running on the slogan, Experience Matters. If you are looking for someone with experience giving illegal immigrants handouts, taking away your Second Amendment rights, and sucking up to rhino Republicans for a leadership spot, yeah, vote for Dane Eagle. The career politician has tons of experience selling you out, saying one thing and doing another. He's your man. Paid for by Honesty America, not approved by any candidate or any candidates committee.
Attention, Southwest Florida. It's not too late. You can still get $8,000 over Kelley Blue Book value for your trade-in, but only at Naples Nissan. Hundreds of new SUV models to choose from, all backed by our exclusive unlimited mile lifetime warranty. Pick out your favorite at naplesnissan.com. Then come see us on Pine Ridge Road to find out the KBB.com current market value for your trade-in. We'll give you $8,000 more so you can drive that brand new Nissan home today. If KBB says it's worth $5,000, Naples Nissan will give you $13,000. If KBB says $10,000, we'll give you $18,000. You must act fast, though. Visit naplesnissan.com for full details. Offer on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. I want to let everybody know that this is going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to be able to help us with this. You know, changing the name of Lee County to Trump County, there's a lot to do there, right? There's the process, getting through that, trying to figure out how to make this happen. A lot of people excited about the prospect of doing it. But at the same time, you know, we need an official seal, right? A logo. And so what we're going to end up doing is we're in the process of working that out, getting a couple of examples. We have people from around the area that are working hard on that, getting that to you so that you could take a look. And then, you know, together, we're going to have to figure out what the official logo, the official seal of the county, of Trump County, is going to look like. So kind of excited about that portion that will be coming your way. So keep listening. We'll give you more details coming up. Also coming up, a chance for you to call 239-479-5592. Did you see Attorney General Barr on Capitol Hill yesterday? What did you think about that? Talk about hydroxychloroquine and taking down information off social media. Maybe your thoughts. And are you getting seeds in the mail?
92.5 Fox News.
Let's talk buttons. Not the buttons on clothes, the ones that do things. The ones that beg the question, what's that button do? There's just something satisfying about pressing buttons. And now, if you have sleep apnea and can't use CPAP, there's a button you can press that's really satisfying. It lets you go from sleeping like this to this. It's called Inspire, and it's as simple as, you guessed it, clicking a button. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with one click of a remote. That's right, a button. Inspire is a small device implanted in a same-day outpatient procedure. Simply click the button on the Inspire remote before you fall asleep. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. If you're struggling with CPAP, great sleep awaits at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Conservative Ray Rodriguez shares our values and he's fighting to deliver results. Ray Rodriguez stood with President Trump to ban sanctuary cities in Florida and hold government officials accountable who refuse to enforce our immigration laws. He also worked to pass E-Verify to protect American jobs and make it harder for illegals to find work. And he stood with President Trump to defend our Second Amendment rights. Conservative Ray Rodriguez worked with Governor DeSantis to grow our economy, cut taxes, and create jobs right here in Southwest Florida. When Governor DeSantis needed him, Ray Rodriguez delivered billions billions of dollars for water quality projects that will clean up our local waterways and reduce harmful Lake Okeechobee discharges. Ray Rodriguez understands water is our state's most precious resource and has been steadfast in prioritizing clean water. Ray Rodriguez is the trusted conservative we can count on to deliver results in the Florida Senate. He's 100% pro-life, stood with President Trump to fight illegal immigration, and delivered results in the fight for clean water.
I'm Ray Rodriguez, and I'm asking for your vote.
Paid by Ray Rodriguez, Republican for Florida Senate.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News. Right now, potential Tropical Cyclone 9 is spinning towards Puerto Rico. People there are preparing for flash flooding and mudslides. On the free Wink Weather app, you can see the new forecast track for the storm, which is possibly making its way to Florida by the weekend. Today, Naples will discuss mandating masks in the city. Collier County already has a mask mandate in place. That meeting will start at 8:30 this morning. Trust Wink News to be there. We are learning more about this school survey put out by Lee schools. A little less than half of parents have not taken it. 41% want face-to-face instruction for their children. 39% have opted for the Lee Home Connect, which allows kids to follow with class from home and return when they're ready. 19% have opted for Lee Virtual School, and 1% want homeschooling. Parents have until Thursday night to respond to the survey. We are seeing more positive trends at our hospitals. Both Lee Health and NCH saw a decrease in the amount of COVID patients they're treating. Lee Health says it's treating 248 people for the virus. NCH is treating 105 COVID patients. They still have plenty of bed capacity at the NCH hospital system. They're at 30%. We now know a 17-year-old is accused of attacking a teenage girl. Investigators have asked for your help to find KJ for a sex crime investigation. They believe he lives in Cape Coral and hangs out near the beach pub on Fort Myers Beach. If you can help, call Crime Stoppers at 800-780-TIPS. The case against the man accused of murdering a woman and her husband is on hold. Deanna Lorenzo and her husband Seraphin were shot in an Estero parking lot back in 2018. The court's pausing the case against Alex Zeffelhofer because of the pandemic. Zeffelhofer and another man are accused of killing the Lorenzos after trying to buy guns from them. Prosecutors have not decided whether to pursue the death penalty. I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News.
Wink News Traffic.
Good Wednesday morning. Midweek commute a little congested over the Matanzas Pass Bridge. So there's a disabled vehicle slowing traffic heading towards Main Street. Also slowdowns in Fort Myers on 6 Mile, starting heading northbound towards Daniels. Daniels very busy as well, heading east to Tree Line, and starting to see that morning rush on MLK Boulevard heading towards I-75 if you're heading west. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, afternoon and evening, pop-up scattered showers and storms on a hot and humid day. Temperature of 93 with our heat index over 100. Gets even hotter Thursday, Friday, mid-90s, but with also a lower rain coverage. Only a few here and there. And then into the weekend, we do watch the possibility of a developing tropical system. A lot of moving parts, still a bit early here. But for right now, scattered showers and storms and breezy. But that forecast is always subject to change. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Get a 2020 GMC Yukon Denali with only 8,000 miles. Like new, but for thousands less. Or a 2008 Kia Sorento SUV with only 43,000 miles for just $6,500. With over 300 vehicles. Visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Majority Leader of the Florida House, Dane Eagle.
I'm Dane Eagle. I'm running for Congress because experience matters. We need proven conservatives fighting for us in Washington. As the Republican Majority Leader of the Florida House, I have proven myself as a trusted conservative. I cut over $10 billion in taxes while balancing Florida's budget. And I've tackled immigration. I fought beside Governor DeSantis to ban sanctuary cities and pass E-Verify. I'm Dane Eagle, and I approve this message because we cannot afford to take another chance on inexperienced, unproven candidates based on campaign ads. That has failed us in the past, and it will fail us again. When I say I'll do something, it's not an empty promise. It's something I've already proven I can and will do. I'm Dane Eagle, and I have the experience to bring back our economy, fight illegal immigration, and keep America great. Send me to Congress. I will stand with President Trump, and I will fight for America. That's a promise, not an ad.
Thank you, Dane.
Paid for by Dane Eagle for Congress.
Your local 1-hour air conditioning and heating team is open and ready to serve you. AC isn't a luxury, but rather is essential to your life. Give our team a call at 844-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Today, businesses are starting to bounce back, but what if you could do better than that? What if you could adapt and find new ways to succeed? With new customers? Well, Comcast Business wants to help you do just that. Learn how you can not just bounce back, but bounce forward at ComcastBusiness.com.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. I am so glad you're joining us today. 239-479-5592. That is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. We are streaming live on YouTube anytime you want to watch. You just go to YouTube, you type in the search bar Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. If you subscribe to the channel, you get a little alert each day when we're on the air, and we appreciate you watching and listening. And it also helps us to be on Facebook as well. So we're there, we're all over the place, we're worldwide. Unlike the president and the president's son, who don't get to be worldwide if they start to talk about things like hydroxychloroquine. Oh, did I use that word? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't even know if I'm allowed to use that word, because it's one of the what is it? The seven bad words you're not allowed. The 12 bad words. Do you remember George Carlin? There were words that you're not allowed to say, or whatever it was, and in radio you can't say these specific words, and if you do, oh boy, you are shut down. And I think hydroxychloroquine. Oh gosh, I did it again. I'm so sorry. We got to come up with some code name. Maybe you guys can help me with that. Maybe that's something we should try to do this morning. Maybe we, together with your phone calls, 239-479-5592, or via text, maybe we should together come up with a code name for the word that rhymes with my bloxynorbaline. And maybe we come up with a word so that we can keep it clean for the kids, because it's all about the kids, and we want to make sure that the youths of America don't have any problems with hearing that word, because we certainly wouldn't want to throw words out that they can't hear. And kids, an incredibly valuable lesson for you to figure out right now. Don't do drugs. And don't be like Nancy Pelosi, if you can help it. I think that is a very important thing to remember. Why should you not be like Nancy Pelosi? Oh, I'll give you plenty of examples coming up in just a second on why you shouldn't be.
Bowl of doggy do.
Yeah, well, there's always a part of that exists in Washington D.C. We'll get to that. Also, coming up this morning at 7:35, we'll have State Representative Dane Eagle on with us, because I have some questions about the president and his announcement yesterday, and how we are going to lower the price of prescription drugs a deal that is going to be quite a big deal from what I'm told. If we're trying to lower the price of prescription drugs, I think everybody could get on board with that. There's a deal with Kodak, as a matter of fact, an effort to start bringing back pharmaceutical drug ingredients and manufacturing into the United States. What a fantastic thing that is. How we don't have to go into the details on where the China Wuhan virus started. We don't want to go into that. We probably all know where it began and how some of the information that we had about the virus early on, where it did not come from, and things that we needed to know, like preliminary investigations conducted by the Chinese authorities found that there was no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission of the coronavirus identified in Wuhan, China. That was, by the way, the WHO on January 14th. But people make mistakes. It's not that big a deal. I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to take down their Twitter account, right? We certainly wouldn't want to do that. We don't want to mess with their Twitter account. But there you go. So we have that information. But as we are looking at lowering prescription drug prices, we love the idea that we're getting away from what is China being the one place where we seem to be getting our drug ingredients. And that it's a nice thing to know that the president is focusing right now on trying to figure out ways through the Defense Production Act, this loan of $765 million, to get Kodak launched in bringing pharmaceuticals back to the country. And that is a good thing. That is the kind of thing that we like to hear. And so I want to have a conversation this morning with State Representative Dane Eagle at 7:35 because as Majority Leader, he was there last legislative session to do something about prescription drugs in the state. Many people said, well, the only way that we would be able to lower prices or for that to stand in Tallahassee, what they did was if on a federal level, they were able to do something as well. And apparently the president is doing and what they've been talking about used the state of Florida as an example of how to go about doing this. Is that true? So we'll have that conversation coming up this morning. I'm interested to hear what the majority leader here in the state house has to say about that. But on the other side is also the discussion about the people, the individuals that probably would like nothing more than to keep China in the mix, that would like to keep everything going the way it is going as far as keeping everything status quo. There's no doubt that Democrats, Joe Biden, wants to keep things status quo with China. That if the president of the United States were to lose this election and Joe Biden were to be president of the United States and Kamala Harris would be the vice president, which we, I guess, know now because accidentally Politico put that out on Twitter yesterday. Did they do that? Oh, yeah. Wait till you hear this story coming up. But we know that everything will be status quo. We'll go back to the same arrangement. In a lot of ways, the swamp will get more swampier than you could ever imagine. That we will not talk about and examine the issues of the federal government being weaponized against American citizens as it was used by Barack Obama and James Clapper and Jim Comey and others, Strzok and Page, and you know the names, going after American citizens like Donald Trump and like Mike Flynn, moving forward investigations, even though there was no evidence there to move investigations forward with regard to Russian collusion. But even knowing that, and even though we come to find out that it was all a hoax, the Steele dossier, something that was created in a bar, I mean, the ridiculous notion of everything that we're coming to find out now, all of that will go away, everybody. All of that will go away with a Joe Biden administration. Not to mention the fact that China will be back in the mix as far as the dependence on ingredients for pharmaceuticals and the cheap products that apparently people love, until they realize that when things like a pandemic happen, boy, it's not fun to be dependent on a communist country to get your PPEs, the things to keep you safe, like gowns and masks in hospitals, and then you come to find out that the shipments that are going around the globe, actually those masks are no good and they have to be tossed because they're defective, and you're depending on this country to get them to you, that being China. It's good to see that the president is taking some proactive measures here, and has been, to try to flip around this chain, right? This supply chain that seems to go directly to and from China. Do not pass go. Do not collect, $200? Unless, of course, you're somebody who likes that $200 in your paycheck and you'd rather have that than go back to work. Oh, is that something that I brought up that has to do with the trillions of dollars being thrown our way by the government once again, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, showing absolutely no regard to fiscal responsibility, which frustrates me. And of course, the concerns that we'd like to get the economy going. And in order to get that going, we have to have people willing to get back out into the workplace, as opposed to collecting the paycheck that they're collecting right now that is more through the government than they would get otherwise. But I digress. So why does Nancy Pelosi have anything to do with this discussion? Well, Nancy Pelosi has a lot to do with the discussion because, number one, you realize that a Joe Biden presidency means that we will have the most left-leaning, most progressive administration that we have ever seen. One that is that even Black Lives Matter, the organization, is saying that it's not far left enough. And they're telling the DNC and Democrats that the platform needs to move even further left. Well, that's going to happen if they help to get Joe Biden elected president of the United States. But Nancy Pelosi, by default, de facto, whatever D you want to put in front of the name, that would mean that she will be the one pulling the strings of the puppet that is Joe Biden. Did I put it that way? It's not a joke. It's serious.
Not a joke.
Just saying. Nancy Pelosi would be in charge of one of the most left-leaning administrations we have ever seen, would be pulling the strings along with the likes of the organization Black Lives Matter and others, and saying some of the most ridiculous things that you're not going to be able to say anything against. You'll just have a media that will shake their heads, like yesterday when Attorney General Barr goes to Capitol Hill, the House Judiciary Committee, because Democrats want him held responsible and accountable for sending federal guards into a federal building in Portland and say some of the most outrageous things, the audio of which we'll play this morning, that they have a problem with protecting a federal building. Never giving the Attorney General the chance to speak, to defend the actions, and to explain to those Democrats who have no interest in him speaking, as a matter of fact, interrupting him time and time again, that Nancy Pelosi was played some audio by CNN of a comment made by Attorney General Barr, and I want you to listen to this.
The stormtrooper comments by the Speaker of the House, and we know that is a direct reference to the paramilitary wing of the Nazi Party. Don't you think it encourages the violence that we're seeing and encourages the participation against the police?
I think that's possible, and I think it's irresponsible to call these federal law enforcement officers stormtroopers.
Yeah, that was Nancy Pelosi who did that. Nancy Pelosi who called these federal officers who are protecting federal property every right that they have to do that, calling them stormtroopers, a Nazi Germany reference. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows why she did it. So here's an opportunity for her on CNN to correct the record.
Well, actually,
the Attorney
I said
General,
they acted like... No.
Well, I'm just going to read it to you. I want everyone to hear what he said. He implied under oath that it is possible that this would be dangerous to law enforcement, and he called your remarks irresponsible, and we give you the floor.
Thanks.
I never heard him say anything about Rudy Giuliani when he said they were like stormtroopers when they went into Michael Cohen. Was it his home or that? Or one of his other henchmen said that the
Get it out.
Law enforcement were like the Gestapo when they went into one of the president's henchmen's place.
Okay, so far, no answer to the question, just deflecting, and let's get to the point.
I said they acted like stormtroopers, and they did, and my colleagues have said that as well. I'm an organizer. That's how I came into all of this, chair of the California Democratic Party, and peaceful protest is who we are and what we do.
Where is peaceful protesting happening? Oh, okay. She's going to explain where the peaceful protest is happening. Here you go.
And do some other people come along and try to disrupt? Yes.
That's all it is. See, what's happening in Portland, and you all need to relax a little bit. What's happening in Portland is that you have peaceful protesters who are there early in the day, and then late at night, some songs have said, the freaks come out at night. You know how that works. And all of a sudden, you have these people who are trouble. They come in at night, and there's a couple of little things that are happening. But your stormtroopers, she hasn't taken that away. They're the ones that are causing trouble. Federal officers protecting a federal building from being burned to the ground, possibly with people in it.
But you don't send in people acting like stormtroopers.
How is it protecting a federal building, acting like she hasn't given up on this, everybody?
Into the scene and evoking even more unease and unrest.
Right. So it's the federal officers' fault. This is Nancy Pelosi on CNN, who's trying to make the case that staying stormtroopers. She didn't actually say it, but she keeps saying it. Oh, but then it gets personal against Attorney General Barr, because why not? Let's throw it in for good measure.
He should be answering for what he did at Lafayette Square, a disgrace. So this is, it's really, he was like a blob. He was like just a henchman for the President of the United States.
Okay, so he's a blob and a henchman. Now, you and I know that it's very hard to take Nancy Pelosi seriously at any given time, and we understand that. It's
bowl of doggy do.
You might say that, but you have a media that's willing to give her the time to continue to call federal officers stormtroopers to an audience of 12 or 15 or whoever's watching CNN. To continue this narrative that the federal officers protecting a building, are the bad guys. And the ones that are throwing Molotov cocktails and are telling everybody that, hey, listen, if there's somebody inside and it just happens to be the death of that person that's inside of that building, then, hey, listen, what happens, happens. I'm not kidding. That's not my words. That's some of the protesters that have said that. The anarchists, Antifa, the myth that is Antifa, according to Jerry Nadler. Sooner or later, the lawlessness in major metropolitan cities has to catch up with Democrats. And be careful what you wish for, because you are now clearly making yourself the party that believes that anarchy is fine on American streets, and so is lawlessness, which clearly defines you against the president who says enough is enough, along with the attorney general, and good for them. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Let's find out what's happening with traffic up to the minute. Here's Sabrina Katz.
Good Wednesday morning. Midweek commute a little congested over the Matanzas Pass Bridge. There's a disabled vehicle slowing traffic heading towards Main Street. Also slowdowns in Fort Myers on 6 Mile, starting heading northbound towards Daniels. Daniels very busy as well, heading east to Tree Line, and starting to see that morning rush on MLK Boulevard heading towards I-75 if you're heading west. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for a hot and humid Wednesday, 93 degrees, sunshine with clouds mixing in by this afternoon and this evening. An opportunity for pop-up scattered storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Join the movement. Rename Lee County Trump County. 925foxnews.com. And sign your name today.
The team at Best Home Services understands that this is a time of much uncertainty and much unknown. With this uncertainty comes feelings of fear and panic. Please know that we are here for you today, tomorrow, and into the future as we move forward together, safely and comfortably. We are all in this together, and as stewards of our community, we promise to continue to provide you the services needed to keep you and your family safe. You are not alone. Best Home Services, our family protecting your family.
This is your Republican State Senator and Senate Majority Leader Kathleen Passidomo, and I asked for your support and your vote for Bibiana Podestad for State Representative District 105. Bibiana is a part of the next generation of conservative leaders who will keep Florida's Republican Party on the right track. I have no doubt that she will serve Floridians with character and integrity. I trust her to stand up for our Republican values and provide the leadership at the State House that our residents deserve. And I ask that you join me in voting for Bibiana Podestad for State Representative.
This is former Congressman Lincoln Diaz-Balart. I'm proud to share with you my endorsement of Bibiana Podestad for State Representative. Bibiana is a dynamic and brilliant leader of admirable values and a true calling for public service. I know she will make us proud in Tallahassee. Please join me in supporting Bibiana Podestad for State Representative in our Republican primary.
Political advertising paid for and approved by Bibiana Podestad, Republican for State Representative District 105.
Looking for a frameless shower door? My Shower Door has just opened their 8th Florida showroom, and it's conveniently located in Cape Coral. With more than 75,000 frameless shower doors installed, no one has more experience and 5-star reviews than My Shower Door. We've been named #1 by readers of the News Press and Naples News for 17 consecutive years and have just been named as Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
Dial star 2020. France, I care.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jonathan France. We know that weakened vision can limit our ability to enjoy day-to-day activities. And with the clear advantage of the Panoptix lens, seeing without glasses for distance driving, computers, and reading is now possible. This is the first and only trifocal lens that is designed to be used to help people get 20/20 distance, near, and in between. Most importantly, I've been doing cataract surgery for over 30 years. Experience matters. Quality outcomes matter. Reputation matters. And most importantly, I want you to know that I'm going to treat you like a member of my own family. You deserve to see your future in 2020.
Dial star 2020. France, I care.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. It's Drew Steele. Hey, listen, thanks to everybody. We continue this going, the cancel culture. Yeah, you really want to come to Southwest Florida and tell us that Robert E. Lee, Lee County, it's going to have to be canceled because you say so? Well, guess what? We have a say in this as well. I'll tell you what, I got a better idea. Let's change the name of Lee County to Trump County. And I love how many people have been on board with this and get on board with it. We've got a lot of people texting the word Trump to 239-479-5592 to sign our change.org petition, getting close to 3,000 plus signatures and more. Hey, listen, we got to have an official logo, right? An official seal. And so we're working on that, and we're going to get your input. We're going to come up with some ideas and then put them out to you and present it to you so that you can have another say in this. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk about that more coming up.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
Dr. Shane Walker here at Thrive Chiropractic and host of the Wellness Hour on 92.5 Fox News for nearly 20 years. And let's face it, many of us are really stressed right now, and that is creating an increase in the number of folks who are dealing with neck pain, headaches, tension across the upper mid-back, anxiety and nervousness. And if you haven't experienced the release of tension that a chiropractic adjustment can produce within your nervous system, go to thrivenaples.com. That's Thrive, Thrive, Naples.com for a special offer. That's thrivenaples.com.
It has never happened before and may never happen again. $1 million in credit stimulus at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers. We've teamed up with the most forgiving lenders in America to get everyone approved for the new car they really want. If you've got $500 down and you make at least $2,000 per month, you could be approved for new 2020 Kia Sportage lease, just $199 per month. That's right, a new SUV for $199 per month. Bad credit, first-time buyer, unemployed, overwhelmed, upside down. During the credit stimulus event, all credit situations are welcome. It's first come, first served. So arrive early and be prepared to drive home today. But hurry, because when $1 million in credit stimulus runs out, this sale is over at Galliana Kia, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
36-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $24.99 to sign plus tax title dealer and acquisition fee. 0 security deposit with lender approval expires month 10.
You know the problem in Washington? Too many politicians are full of should. They should keep promises, should serve the people, should avoid corruption. But when it's time to deliver, it's just a load of should. Then along comes Donald J. Trump, and the D.C. insiders, they lose their should. Byron Donalds is a lot like Trump that way. Donalds is willing to shake things up. You can take Trump's word for it.
I want to thank Representative Donalds. He's got a tremendous future ahead of him.
Now Byron Donalds is running for Congress. Donalds fought for low taxes in Tallahassee. He'll keep fighting to protect your paycheck in Congress. Donalds backs term limits. And Donalds stands with Trump to defend our police. Conservative, Republican, Byron Donalds for Congress. He'll make a difference in Washington. No should. Paid for by Club for Growth Action. Clubforgrowthaction.org and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Jason Mon at Mon, Himshute, and Adams Law Group is your Lee County Home Rule attorney. Their attorneys are here to fight for both you and your family's rights against outside interference. They'll work hard to make sure your business personal home rule isn't threatened by unjust government regulation or dishonest business transactions. So remember, to protect your home rule, please call Jason Mon, your experienced home rule lawyer, 472-2424. That's 472-2424.
Attention commercial building owners. The Flying Locksmiths of Southwest Florida are now open, specializing in automatic doors, access controls, and CCTV cameras. Visit them online at flyinglocksmiths.com. If it's on the door, we handle it.
This Wink News update is presented by Stadium Dry Cleaners. Online at stadiumdrycleaners.com.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News. Right now, potential Tropical Cyclone 9 is spinning towards Puerto Rico. People there are preparing for flash flooding and mudslides. On the free Wink weather app, you can see the new forecast track for the storm, which is possibly making its way to Florida by the weekend. Today, Naples will discuss mandating masks in the city. Collier County already has a mask mandate in place. That meeting will start at 8:30 this morning. Trust Wink News to be there. We are learning more about the school survey put out by Lee schools. A little less than half of parents have not taken it. 41% want face-to-face instruction for their children. 39% have opted for the Lee Home Connect, which allows kids to follow with class from home and return when they're ready. 19% have opted for Lee Virtual School, and 1% want homeschooling. Parents have until Thursday night to respond to the survey. We are seeing more positive trends at our hospitals. Both Lee Health and NCH saw a decrease in the amount of COVID patients they're treating. Lee Health says it's treating 248 people for the virus. NCH is treating 105 COVID patients. They still have plenty of bed capacity at the NCH hospital system. They're at 30%. We now know a 17-year-old is accused of attacking a teenage girl. Investigators have asked for your help to find KJ for a sex crime investigation. They believe he lives in Cape Coral and hangs out near the beach pub on Fort Myers Beach. If you can help, call Crime Stoppers at 800-780-TIPS. The case against the man accused of murdering a woman and her husband is on hold. Deanna Lorenzo and her husband Seraphin were shot in an Estero parking lot back in 2018. The court's pausing the case against Alex Zeffelhofer because of the pandemic. Zeffelhofer and another man are accused of killing the Lorenzos after trying to buy guns from them. Prosecutors have not decided whether to pursue the death penalty. I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News.
Wink News Traffic.
The crash at Alico and Gator Road is still slowing traffic, but traffic trying to work its way back up to speed. So if you're heading east of US 41 to Three Oaks and want a crash-free, faster commute, stick to San Carlos Boulevard. Also, the crash in Lehigh at Gunnery Road and Leonard is still slowing traffic now eastbound on Leonard heading to Gunnery. So you can use State Road 82 if you want an alternate, as well as slowdowns on Westgate heading north to Lee Boulevard. Lee Boulevard, a very nice commute heading to the interstate. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, afternoon and evening, pop-up scattered showers and storms on a hot and humid day. Temperature of 93 with our heat index over 100. Gets even hotter Thursday, Friday, mid-90s, but with also a lower rain coverage. Only a few here and there. And then into the weekend, we do watch the possibility of a developing tropical system. A lot of moving parts, still a bit early here. But for right now, scattered showers and storms and breezy. But that forecast is always subject to change. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
92.5 Fox News.
We are going to make America great again.
Right. All along.
Want to talk about Stadium Dry Cleaners, my good friends. They are great people there. I've been going to Stadium Dry Cleaners, I'm telling you, for as long as I can remember. And you may know Larry Rose. Now, Larry is an experienced SEC and NFL referee. Well, I know Larry has a fantastic dry cleaner and a great businessman. Look, you're going to love Stadium Dry Cleaners. They have discounts for our first responders and seniors. They have multiple locations near Publix at Daniels Crossing in Fort Myers, the Gateway Trade Center in Fort Myers, and the Elegant Image Dry Cleaners next to Walgreens on Del Prado in Cape Coral. They are Lee County's leading dry cleaner since 1988. With 30 years of experience in Lee County, I'm telling you, I trust my family's dry cleaning to Larry and the team at Stadium Dry Cleaners. So will you visit them? Visit stadiumdrycleaners.com and look for their monthly specials for great savings.
When you are moving your home or office, choosing the right company makes all the difference. Rice's Moving and Transport has operated for 21 years out of Naples. They offer full packing and moving services for commercial and residential, as well as full designer services. To help our locals, Rice's Moving is extending their special pricing on all local moves for the summer. To protect our community, they are working within all the CDC guidelines. Rice's Moving and Transport in Naples, moving you into the future.
My name is Mike Gillimbardo, and I'm running to represent you in the Florida House. It was a great honor back in 2016 when Donald Trump's team asked me to speak at his campaign rally right here in Southwest Florida. And it was an even bigger honor to meet the man that would become our next president. My message that day was about unifying our country behind Donald Trump. Today, my message is the same. Donald Trump is under constant attack and needs our support more than ever. I'm Mike Gillimbardo, and I supported Donald Trump when he was a candidate, and I support him as our president. But unfortunately, my opponent's special interest friends are spending tens of thousands of dollars trying to tell you I don't support our president. And that's just not true. While I'm working to unite our party, he's working to divide it. I'm Mike Gillimbardo. I'm a combat veteran who worked to help Donald Trump get elected. If you send me to the Florida House, I will ensure Donald Trump succeeds in keeping America great. Paid by Mike Gillimbardo, Republican for the Florida House.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Stay break 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. That is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. Keep it handy because, well, two things. Number one, because in about 10 more minutes, we've got Drew's College of Political Knowledge, 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you were in a PhD, so that's a lot of fun. That'll be coming up. And then the second thing is you may want to text the word Trump to 239-479-5592 because there you will get the link to our change.org page that is quickly filling up with signatures to change the name of Lee County to Trump County. And look at the cancel culture that everybody knows about, that that Republicans, 7 out of 10 Republicans, according to a new poll, understand that a cancel culture is out there and it is dangerous. And it means to take down a lot of history and take away things without you having any kind of say in it whatsoever. Where Democrats are just like, it's not that big a deal. Of course, it's not a big deal to Democrats because they would probably love for the cancel culture to be in charge until, of course, they cancel Democrats, which happens, which is kind of humorous, but okay. That we say, no, you don't come into Southwest Florida and say something like, Robert E. Lee County, you got to take down the Boston Lee County. You've got to change all kinds of things about Lee County, including the name of the county. No, I'll get ahead of this. I would like for us to change the name of Lee County to Trump County. And if you're on board with that, you can sign our change.org petition and get ready because we're going to need an official logo, right? An official seal for the county. And so we're working on that with you. We'll get some examples. This is going to be fun of some logos, some seals, if you will, for the county. And we'll have that all together. And then we'll give you an opportunity to choose out of the ones that have come our way. And we'll pick the best one. So we are going to move things forward. So that's going to be fun. All right. Speaking of moving things forward, a couple of things that are happening. One is about the president and the importation of drugs, the idea that we don't want to depend on China and giving money to Kodak, $700 million plus to start to manufacture the ingredients needed for certain drugs in this country, to lower prescription prices. That came up yesterday. And also, I have a question about what we're doing about a special session. Are we even doing that here in the state of Florida moving forward? I haven't heard a lot about that, so I thought, well, let's have our State Representative Dane Eagle on with us, who happens to be the House Majority Leader here in the state, and discuss this in some detail and find out more about what's happening right now. All right, Representative Eagle, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Drew. Good to be with you, and it's good to see you streaming live on Facebook, too. So all is well. Thanks
so here we are, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, and if you would like to subscribe to the channel, we do appreciate it there at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Your subscription keeps all of this going. All right, so among other things, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the president's order and what the president is doing, this executive order, And is it true that, because what I'm hearing is that there was a look at what we've done in the state of Florida and the importance, obviously, of lowering prescription drugs, but possibly even using the state's example to help with some of the federal decisions. Can you talk a little bit about this, about what's going on with the lowering of prescription drug prices, what you did last legislative session, what House members did, and how important that is to obviously everyone here, not only in Southwest Florida, but to the country.
And you're right. This is huge. This is historic, and it started in Florida. Actually, we were the catalyst that sprung this about. But on Friday, President Trump signed 4 executive orders aimed to lower the cost of prescription drugs. One of those executive orders stemmed directly from our actions here in Florida at the state level. Speaker Jose Oliva, who I've worked with these last 8 years, but in the last 2 years as the House Majority Leader, working with him to pass legislation. His number one focus, our number one focus, was lowering the costs of health care, which we all know is rising because of government's involvement. So we've been looking at the free market. And one of those things was in 2019, we passed a law that would allow Florida to be able to purchase or trade with Canada for safe, FDA-safe drugs, prescription drugs for seniors and beyond. And that would allow competition in the market. The only way we could do that, of course, is through the federal government's approval. We as a state don't have the ability just to buy and barter and trade with a foreign government. We need their approval. But when we started to pursue this in 2019 with the Speaker, with the Florida House, with my charge as the Majority Leader, we turned to Governor DeSantis and said, hey, we need to do this. But in order to actually take place, we need the President's involvement. And we all know the Governor and the President have a great relationship. So he sat down with him back then, president said, I'm on board. Give me time. I've got work to do. People here in D.C. in the swamp don't want anything to do with this, but I will get it done. He said he'd do it, and here we are now in 2020. It's a done deal. He put his best foot forward. I can tell you just some of the inside baseball, talking with the governor's office and the chief of staff there, the D.C. politics, the White House staff, they did not want to do this, but the president was committed. He got it done.
Well, that's interesting. Well, so why did they not want to do it? What was the pushback?
So there's so much bureaucracy that we all know is involved here, and there are some unintended consequences. What we need now more than ever, though, is Congress to act. So what the president just said is he's pretty much putting an ultimatum on the table. He's saying, listen, if Congress won't act, because Congress should be the one to do this, they need to pass the law.
Yeah.
But the president was tired of waiting, so he did the executive order to basically challenge them to do the right things. So now what we're doing is we're competing. American drugs are now prescription drugs are competing with Canadian prescription drugs, which are cheaper because they have less regulations involved. They have other opportunities there. What we have the problem with here in the United States is government intervention. That is what's causing the increase in drug prices and beyond. So what we need to do is Congress to act, to repeal some regulations, allow innovation, allow competition. So the president, by doing this, is forcing the hand of Congress to move forward and actually change their pace, change some laws. So that's what the president's done. And there was pushback on that, but he understands the benefit of it, the long-term benefit, and he fought back against his own, staff, advisors, bureaucrats that have probably been in Washington for a long time and love the status quo.
Yeah, well, I thought that was interesting that because as we had talked about it years back in this discussion about lowering drug prices and what we could do here in the state of Florida, the pushback was always, number one, that the federal government has to be involved in this as well. It was sort of like moot unless we can get the feds in, and which we did. So that is the good news. And then obviously the other side of it, worrying about competition and also worrying about the efficacy and the safety of those drugs from Canada, because I'm sure that you have heard about this. And it's something that we talked about and we brought up that, well, hold on a second. Does that mean that if we import drugs from Canada, yeah, they may be cheaper, but what if these Canadian companies, what if they're bringing in drugs from, let's say, China? Then we're kind of, we're helping to bring prices down, but we're defeating a lot of what we are trying to accomplish here, which is to, number one, try to get China out of the loop. And then obviously here in the state of Florida, the concerns about our efficacy and safety.
No, those are exactly great questions. So those are things that we made sure we put in there, and also why we wanted the federal government's involvement and needed it, quite frankly, with the president and Congress to be able to make sure that those safety measures were in place. These are FDA-approved drugs, so there's nothing any different. Yes, we're looking at Canada now, but Canada has safe drugs. They're doing what needs to be done. But it is interesting you brought that up, because in 2019, when we were pushing this law, and certainly we were fighting against the media and the Democrats, they didn't want anything to do with it because they don't want Republicans to win. We're back home on the weekends while in session, and I'm watching the local media, and there's commercials basically pushed up by Big Pharma saying that the Florida legislature and House Republicans want to harm seniors, that we're going to, with this law, basically put their lives on the line and in danger. And that was comical. First time I've seen Big Pharma really trying to push against this, because they don't like what's happening. They don't like the fact that we are now, competing, and frankly, that's why Congress needs to act to bring back down regulations so that United States companies can now have the ability to compete freely and pursue innovation and make sure that a competitive market, the free market, is reigning and not government regulations.
Yeah. Florida State Representative Dane Eagle, House Majority Leader here in the state, joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, talking about lowering of prescription prices, something that was brought up in the legislature recently in the legislative session. And speaking of that, so what's going on with the special session? The word was that we were going to need it. Isn't there a concern with the Florida budget as far as what's been happening with the economic downturn because of COVID? What are we doing here? What's going on with this idea of a special session? What's next?
What I can tell you is we are not going to do a special session. There is concern about the economy of the state, of course, with any kind of government shutdown or mandated shutdown. Our fiscal, our economy is taking a hit, and that's the unfortunate reality. And we can all get into the pros and cons of the shutdown. I, for one, have been against it, but I think the governor has done a great job balancing life and liberty. And frankly, when he decided to do the initial shutdown, he was looking at models that showed Armageddon, and he acted. And certainly when he saw things starting to improve, he's moved to the other direction. And of course, the media hates that. But I think Florida's on the right track. I think the governor's doing a fantastic job. But regardless, we're still at 50% occupancy for many small businesses. They've been shut down. People aren't out and about like they used to be. Consumer confidence isn't there. So our budget has certainly taken a hit here in Florida. But what we have done as Floridians for the past decade, since the Great Recession, since the hurricanes of the last decade, we have been fiscally prudent with taxpayer dollars. In my time in the legislature in the last 8 years, we've cut taxes by $10 billion. We've cut our debt by $8 billion. And just this session, we left and came home balancing the budget with $4 to $6 billion in reserves. So, yes, we've been looking at the monthly forecast of the state's budget and the money that's coming in. Our number one source of revenue is sales tax dollars. A lot of that depends on tourism and consumer confidence. So that is taking a hit. But because we have been responsible, we put the money in reserves. We didn't spend beyond our means. We've constantly been looking to balance budgets and do it in the right way. We did not have to go to a special session. We were able to dip into those reserves and be responsible. And now we as a state are standing on our own 2 feet. We do not need to look to taxpayers and put more burden on them. Not that we ever would, but because we're prudent, it's not even on the table. And we don't need to look to the federal government to bail us out. So Floridians should be proud, because you're seeing New York, you're seeing California, Illinois, Ohio, you name it, looking to Congress now, asking President Trump to bail them out because of their bad decisions. Yeah. We have not had to do that. We don't need to go to a special session. Our budget is balanced, and taxpayers are going to be better off for it.
Yeah. All right, we've got to run, but before we go, State Representative Dane Eagle, Trump County's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? You probably heard about that. I'm not sure if you heard about this, but I've been pushing this idea that if a cancel culture is coming into Southwest Florida, maybe we cancel the cancel culture and say, hey, hold on a second. Maybe we'll change the name of Lee County to Trump County. Got a lot of people on board.
I like it. I've heard about it. And yes, the media's been asking me about it. And what I've told them is, look, I'm born and raised here. My birth certificate actually says Lee County. It doesn't say a city. I don't have an eraser, so I'm not for changing the county. And I'd say that kind of facetiously because I'm not for cancel culture. But you're exactly right. I love where you're headed. If we're going to cancel, Trump sounds like the best name possible. And I bet the crazies that want to change it would say, no. Lee County sounds great. So Let's all go for Trump County. I'm in. Let me know what I need to do. Let's push this forward.
Okay. All right, sir. Listen, great to speak with you this morning, and all the best. And we'll speak soon, because I'm concerned about everything that's happening here in the state of Florida, and I want to make sure that as far as legislators are concerned, and what's going on with budgets, what's going on with Florida, and the concerns of many people that are listening about prescription drugs and what we're able to do here at a state level, that we keep on top of this. All right, we'll speak soon.
Thanks, Drew. Talk to you soon.
All right, 239-479-5592. There's the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line, and I would like you to use it right now if you want to play Drew's College. Up next, 239-479-5592. Caller number 5. Let's do it right now, and we'll get the 5th caller. We'll play Drew's College. Have a little bit of fun this morning on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along with traffic. There she is. It's Sabrina Katz.
The crash out of Lico and Gator Road is still slowing traffic, but traffic trying to work its way back up to speed. So if you're heading east of US 41 to Three Oaks and want a crash-free, faster commute, stick to San Carlos Boulevard. Also, the crash in Lehigh at Gunnery Road and Leonard is still slowing traffic now eastbound on Leonard heading to Gunnery. So you can use State Road 82 if you want an alternate, as well as slowdowns on Westgate heading north to Lee Boulevard. Lee Boulevard, a very nice commute heading to the interstate. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for a hot and humid Wednesday, 93 degrees, sunshine with clouds mixing in by this afternoon and this evening. An opportunity for pop-up scattered storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Cancel the cancel culture mob. Be part of the movement to push back. Rename Lee County Trump County. Sign your name now at 925foxnews.com.
Across the nation, America is moving forward, finding our footing, getting back on our feet. Life continues to open up. Businesses are getting back to business, and we are too. We know you rely on the Good Feet store to be there when you need us. We're open and ready to serve you. Our personally fit arch supports are designed to help alleviate, even eliminate, foot, knee, hip, and back pain, and provide comfort, balance, and support. The well-being of our customers, associates, and community is our highest priority. So we've implemented new measures, procedures, and precautions, keeping your health and safety in the forefront. The Good Feet store is lending a hand to help America get back on its feet. And just as we have for a quarter century, we're helping to improve the quality of people's lives, 2 feet at a time.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? Call 552-FEET or visit us in Naples or our newest store in Fort Myers.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. My friends at Zero Res Carpet and Tile Cleaning want to let you know, look, your safety and your family's safety is their top priority. In the light of the current health and safety concerns, Zero Res wants to let you know about some of the procedures and preventative measures for added protection. Practicing safe social distancing while in your home. You can even leave or stay in another room and they can communicate with you by phone. How cool is that? Cleaning and disinfecting all equipment with EPA-registered disinfectants between each job. The techs are wearing gloves and booties. They're supplementing the supply of products that are EPA approved to clean and disinfect hard surfaces. And as an added preventive measure, at no additional fee, they're going to treat doorknobs with the EPA approved hospital grade disinfecting products. Look, the top priority is to create peace of mind by providing people with healthy, safe, clean home and work environments. And they're going to continue to do just that through this difficult time. Give them a call at 239-932-9376. That's 239-932-9376 or online at ZeroResSWFL.com. Spell it backwards or forwards, it still spells the same. Zerorez.
Let's talk about Byron Donalds. Just the facts. Fact. Byron Donalds is a never-Trumper who has repeatedly mocked Donald Trump and his policies. Fact. Byron Donalds doesn't even live in the district he's running for. But it gets worse. Fact. A Trump-hating organization based in Washington is spending millions to buy the seat for him. These are the facts. Byron Donalds is a bought and paid for never-Trumper. Paid for by Honesty America, not authorized by any candidate or any candidate's committee.
Attention Florida HVAC technicians. I want you to take a look down at your uniform. Is the name Best Home Services embroidered on the front? If not, I have some very bad news. You're working at the wrong company. Join a team where you can create your own opportunities. Join Best Home Services. If you take pride in providing outstanding customer service, Best Home Services is where you want to be. Of course we offer top wages, top benefits, and top perks, but it's the other stuff that makes us different. You and your family deserve more. Join the team at Best Home Services and enjoy living up to the name. Best Home Services, now hiring HVAC technicians.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, we go to Catalina in Cape Coral. Is that right, Catalina?
Yes, hi, how are you, Drew?
I'm wonderful. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. And your associate's degree, Catalina, starts right now. Hey, Catalina, do you remember who won the GOP nomination for President of the United States in 2012? His running mate was Paul Ryan. Who was that in 2012?
Was that Obama?
That was Mitt Romney.
Obama?
Mitt Romney. Remember Mitt Romney? That guy. I get it. You know, it's easy to forget him. I get it. All right, let's try to get an associate's degree question on this. When you hear the name Betsy Ross, what's Betsy Ross famous for or best known for? When you think of Betsy Ross, you think of the...
I do not know this one at all.
Oh, all right. Betsy Ross, you think of the American flag. They're famous for the American flag. All right.
She's the one that threw it, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, let's try this for an associate's degree question. When we elect U.S. senators, right, and we know that representatives, congressional representatives, is once every 2 years. Senators are once every how many years?
For
senators.
6 years?
Yes, 6 years is correct. That is right. All right, that is your associates. Let's see if you get a bachelor's degree on this question. Do you know what the supreme law of the land is? The supreme law of the land is the
everyone can own a piece of land?
Well, I mean the document, the actual document that we're looking at, the document, supreme law, is the
Constitution?
It is. That is correct. Very good. Excellent. All right. Well, there you go. See, a little slow start. You come back strong. So congratulations, Catalina. You got it. You got a bachelor's degree. You will have one in your possession as soon as you talk to Jake. We'll put you on hold so you can have that conversation. And you in my eyes, Catalina, you were right all along.
Thank you, Drew.
All right. I thank you for calling, as always. Thanks so much. And thanks to everybody who always plays with us each and every day. Drew's College, 7:50 each day. So thank you for that. When we come back, we're going to have Michael Waltz on, Congressman. We got a lot to discuss about AG Barr on Capitol Hill and more.
92.5 Fox News.
Hi, I'm Jim Levins, and I'm running for Lee County Sheriff. For more than 30 years, I've served on the front lines of law enforcement, all right here in Lee County. Now, as radicalized Democrats attempt to open our borders, destroy our churches, and defund the police, it is more important than ever to have a pro-cop, pro-Trump, pro-law and order sheriff who won't give in to the liberal mob and who will fight for you each and every day. That's exactly who I am, and that's exactly what I'll do. I'm Jim Levins, running for Lee County Sheriff, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jim Levins, Republican for Lee County Sheriff.
People often ask me, how did you grow my shower door so big and so fast? But the answer is, we didn't. What we did is we took our family business, we hired great talent, trained our staff, and developed our product. Now, after 17 years, my shower door has 8 frameless shower door showrooms, with our newest in Cape Coral. If you're looking for a frameless shower door company that you can trust and research, and you want to see more, go to myshowerdoor.com.
Majority Leader of the Florida House, Dane Eagle.
I'm Dane Eagle. I'm running for Congress because experience matters. We need proven conservatives fighting for us in Washington. As the Republican Majority Leader of the Florida House, I have proven myself as a trusted conservative. I cut over $10 billion in taxes while balancing Florida's budget. And I've tackled immigration. I fought beside Governor DeSantis to ban sanctuary cities and pass E-Verify. I'm Dane Eagle, and I approve this message because we cannot afford to take another chance on inexperienced, unproven candidates based on campaign ads. That has failed us in the past, and it will fail us again. When I say I'll do something, it's not an empty promise. It's something I've already proven I can and will do. I'm Dane Eagle, and I have the experience to bring back our economy, fight illegal immigration, and keep America great. Send me to Congress. I will stand with President Trump, and I will fight for America. That's a promise, not an ad.
Thank you, Dane.
Paid for by Dane Eagle for Congress.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by CFS Roofing. Online at cfsroofing.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News. Right now, potential tropical cyclone 9 is spinning towards Puerto Rico. People there are preparing for flash flooding and mudslides. On the free Wink weather app, you can see the new forecast track for the storm, which is possibly making its way to Florida by the weekend. Today, Naples will discuss mandating masks in the city. Collier County already has a mask mandate in place. That meeting will start at 8:30 this morning. Trust Wink News to be there. We are learning more about the school survey put out by Lee schools. A little less than half of parents have not taken it. 41% want face-to-face instruction for their children. 39% have opted for the Lee Home Connect, which allows kids to follow with class from home and return when they're ready. 19% have opted for Lee Virtual School, and 1% want homeschooling. Parents have until Thursday night to respond to the survey. We are seeing more positive trends at our hospitals. Both Lee Health and NCH saw a decrease in the amount of COVID patients they're treating. Lee Health says it's treating 248 people for the virus. NCH is treating 105 COVID patients. They still have plenty of bed capacity at the NCH hospital system. They're at 30%. We now know a 17-year-old is accused of attacking a teenage girl. Investigators have asked for your help to find KJ for a sex crime investigation. They believe he lives in Cape Coral and hangs out near the beach pub on Fort Myers Beach. If you can help, call Crime Stoppers at 800-780-TIPS. The case against the man accused of murdering a woman and her husband is on hold. Deanna Lorenzo and her husband Seraphin were shot in an Estero parking lot back in 2018. The court's pausing the case against Alex Zeffelhofer because of the pandemic. Zeffelhofer and another man are accused of killing the Lorenzos after trying to buy guns from them. Prosecutors have not decided whether to pursue the death penalty. I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News.
Wink News traffic.
The crash at Alico and Gator Road is still slowing traffic, but traffic trying to work its way back up to speed. So if you're heading east of US 41 to Three Oaks and want a crash-free, faster commute, stick to San Carlos Boulevard. Also, the crash in Lehigh at Gunnery Road and Leonard is still slowing traffic now eastbound on Leonard heading to Gunnery. So you can use State Road 82 if you want an alternate, as well as slowdowns on Westgate heading north to Lee Boulevard. Lee Boulevard, a very nice commute heading to the interstate. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, afternoon and evening, pop-up scattered showers and storms on a hot and humid day. Temperature of 93 with our heat index over 100. Gets even hotter Thursday, Friday, mid-90s, but with also a lower rain coverage. Only a few here and there. And then into the weekend, we do watch the possibility of a developing tropical system. A lot of moving parts, still a bit early here. But for right now, scattered showers and storms and breezy. But that forecast is always subject to change. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hey, it's Drew Steele here, and hurricane season, you know, it's upon us, and it's supposed to be a pretty active season for 2020. Get peace of mind from my friends at Generator Supercenter, the #1 Generac automatic standby generator dealer in the nation. You don't have to sweat the next outage. I've had my Generac for years. It is amazing. Get your free estimate on your Generac automatic standby generator today, in time for hurricane season, with expert installation and 24-hour monitoring. Generator Supercenter. Give them a shout at 204-3469. That's 204-3469 for Generator Supercenter.
Summer clearance event going on now at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Lowest prices ever on over 1,500 new and certified pre-owned vehicles. All new Jeep Gladiator lease, $259 per month. Loaded luxurious Grand Cherokee Limited lease, $279 per month. New Ram Bighorn Crew Cab lease, just $299 per month. That's right, award-winning Ram trucks, $299 per month. Plus at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, you can drive payment-free for 3 months, interest-free for 6 years, and worry-free up to 100,000 miles. Plus, our parts service and body shop are open to serve you. Summer clearance event featuring Ram Bighorn Crew Cabs for $299 per month at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com. 42-month leases, 10,000 miles per year, $32.94 due at signing plus tax, tag, title, 0 security deposit, $13.88 per month per thousand borrowed for 72 months at 0% APR with 0 down with lender approval. Offers don't combine.
Building a dream takes hard work, discipline, determination. Casey Asghar started with nothing, but his hard work created jobs. His discipline shaped a community. His determination built an American dream. Those same qualities built our nation. And to rebuild our economy, we need them now more than ever.
I'm Casey Asghar, and I approve this message. My family came to America to pursue the American dream. We owe it to our children to keep the dream alive.
Paid for by Casey Asghar for Congress.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592. That is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. Each and every day we stream live on YouTube. We love that you are watching. Thank you so much. And thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you are watching, when you go to YouTube, you type in Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Subscribe to the channel when you do. It's free, by the way. And when you do, it allows us to keep this going on places like YouTube and Facebook as well. A lot of folks joining us there. And a big, big thank you to everyone who continues to support Trump County. That's right. A cancel culture that wants to come into Southwest Florida, that wants to tell us what to do. A minority of voices, individuals telling the majority of voices what they have to do. We all understand the dangers of a cancel culture that's out there. And so now Lee County, Robert E. Lee County, people coming here and knocking at the door and saying, hey, listen, maybe we start to rethink the name Lee County. Well, hold on a second. I say we get ahead of this and we change the name of Lee County to Trump County. And I'm so glad that so many of you are on board with this, texting the word Trump to 239-479-5592 and have been going to our change.org page and signing that. And of course, we've talked about how we might move this forward. And not only that, but even the chance for you to check out some logos. I mean, we need a seal, right? We need a logo, and we're going to be working on that and give you an opportunity to choose the design that you all like the best. So all of that is coming up. A lot of exciting movement there on Trump County. All right. In the meantime, lots of things happening in D.C. With Attorney General Barr, with China, with prescription drugs, with what's happening here in the state of Florida when it comes to the coronavirus. And I wanted to have a conversation this morning with Representative Michael Waltz, Congressman, Florida District 6. And we always appreciate having him on the program. How are you this morning, sir?
Doing great, Drew. I have to tell you, some days, I was a Green Beret that fought abroad, and there's some days I think Afghanistan was easier than Washington D.C. But other than that, we're doing fine. We're doing fine.
I know it's been crazy, even with, and maybe you can speak to this because the Attorney General there in the House Judiciary Committee and there on Capitol Hill, clearly Democrats bringing him there to try to embarrass, humiliate. Some of the things that they were saying against the Attorney General were appalling. And I'm concerned for two reasons, but optimistic. Number one, I'm concerned because, and maybe you can speak to this, how they speak to the Attorney General and the President, and the idea that not once did anybody suggest that they have a problem with what's going on in major metropolitan cities across the country and the concerns there about Antifa and the destruction, and that all of this will be permanently on display there on record. But the one thing too is, and you can speak to this, boy, we really are seeing the definitive moment, the line that's being drawn between those on the left who don't seem to have a problem with this, and those on the right, and Republicans who could look to the American people and say, is that what you want to vote for?
Yeah, it's hard sometimes to tell with the Democrats right now if they are just willfully looking away because of the 2020 election, or they truly believe that these things aren't happening. But let's take a moment and look at some of the language that they're using. Words matter. And when they're talking about federal law enforcement officers as troops, as Trump's troops, that he is sending in, when they're talking about the creation of a new interior ministry, when they're saying, as Representative Swalwell from California said, that last night on television, that they were using chemical weapons on fellow Americans, making a thinly veiled analogy to Saddam Hussein.
Outrageous.
And really, what I found so egregious was Nadler suggesting that it was the federal agents that caused this violence, and sending in federal agents who are clearly within the boundaries and with the parameters of federal property. and but for them being brutally attacked by these quote, air quotes here, peaceful protesters, that all of this would have been fine. It's truly it's just incredible to see. I mean, I'm almost speechless at watching this kind of willful ignorance on their part. It's politics at its worst. I will say, one thing I'm going to follow up with Attorney General Barr on. I signed on to a letter really pushing him and suggesting we provide money to help him follow the money with Antifa. He's got to follow the money. And I am utterly convinced, again, having dealt with insurgencies and these types of groups, terrorist groups all over the world, they have common tactics, common techniques, common procedures, even uniforms. And we need to begin dismantling them, just like we've dismantled these types of groups from Africa to Afghanistan, going after leadership, how they communicate, how they fund themselves, how they train. And I know he's engaged the FBI's counterterrorism centers, but I really want him to follow the money, because I think you're going to find some very prominent progressives, and I think you're going to find some foreign influence there.
Now, the foreign influence is the one I'm interested in, because if we're going to be honest, and you always are, and I love having a conversation with you like this because of your honesty and straightforwardness, and it's this. The foreign influence, if we can point that out, that's important to recognize. But the other side of it, the progressive side of it, we've got a media that's willing to cover that up, to make that sound like either it's not happening or there's no problem, under the guise of, look, we all want the same thing. We all want this president out of office. We've always wanted him out of office. And so I'm concerned that even if we could find something out that would point to a progressive movement, that could point to somebody individual, a name that probably everybody would recognize, for example, that it would fall flat only because there are people that would even ignore that, because it seems like they're all looking at the same goal and the same end result. That's my concern.
I've had off the record conversations with journalists who have admitted to me that they and some of their colleagues have set aside any semblance of journalistic objectivity because the ends justify the means to get President Trump out of office.
Tough.
So fortunately, I think the American people have seen through this for some time. That's why he got elected. I think the only profession that's getting rated lower than politicians right now are journalists.
Yeah.
So the American people are smarter than that, and thank God for conservative outlets like yours and others that can bring some semblance of both sides of a story.
Yeah, and that's also why I feel a lot of positive energy and feel pretty good about moving forward, because I really do believe, like you do, that individuals in this country and in major metropolitan cities and outside of places like Portland and Seattle, I mean, you can't tell me that every single person agrees with what's happening in their city, even in New York. When we see all of this, that there are individuals that are outside that are looking and saying, I don't accept this. This is not okay with me. And they will recognize that. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, and they are. And interesting, despite what you'd hear from the mainstream media, we are seeing an uptick in minority support for the president in some of our polling, because and you'll hear some of these leaders speaking out, like, these are our communities. We have to live here. These Antifa anarchist protesters that are coming in, they're not from the places that they're destroying. They're being bussed in, they're being shipped in. Again, I believe it's being coordinated at some level, and I want to get to the bottom of who's coordinating it. But you're seeing an uptick in minority support because these are their neighborhoods that they live in, that they want to improve. At the end of the day, you have 19 of the 20 of the largest cities in America are run by Democrats. And where are the results? At some point, I think these voters are going to see through the spin and say, where are the results with decade after decade of Democrat rule?
Yeah. Representative Michael Waltz joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. Congressman District 6 here on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. We're talking about obviously what is happening in D.C. and across the country that we start to hear with regard to Attorney General Barr and how Democrats have gone after him, the lawlessness around in certain cities that we have to recognize and recognize and take down and stop. And I believe the American people recognize that. You know, I'm wondering something else as far as what is happening now with COVID, even here in the state, the coronavirus, and how everybody is trying to make Florida look so bad and trying to pin this on the governor. And by default, it's Donald Trump and how awful it is. And Florida is the epicenter. And if you just take a second and take a breath and actually look at the data, you'll find out that it's quite a different picture. If you want, it's not the epicenter. It's epicenter. We know where the epicenter is, and we know where the problem has always been. And many people recognize that the governor has been doing a good job here in the state. And as the numbers start to decrease, as they will, we would like to hear about that as well. But on the other side is the economic impact. And we know that the Senate and we know that certain individuals would like to see more money going towards trillions of dollars that are being put out there to help individuals with unemployment insurance and the checks that are going out and helping to pay rent and the like. And that's one thing that we discussed early on when the pandemic hit and there was a lot of uncertainty. Can you speak to what's going on right now with the amount of money that's going out and even this discussion of the Senate talking about $1 trillion starting point? I'm concerned about that because I'm a fiscal conservative. I'm worried about where the money's going. I want to know what's happening with the money that hasn't been spent yet and how we're going to get an economy going if we're paying people more money to stay home than to go back to work.
Yeah, no, look, you're absolutely right. A few points there. One on this, global what's the words the media are using? Like global center of the pandemic, global
epicenter. It's a joke.
We are at epicenter. We are, approaching 6,000 sad and unfortunate deaths, but they completely ignore the fact that New York, with its, with their favorite, the media's favorite governor, Cuomo, is at 35,000, six times. And yet, they want to train all guns on Ron DeSantis. But look, at the end of the day, it is the data shows this is centered in Miami. This is centered in Broward. In North Florida, where I represent, they're sitting at 25% hospital capacity. We see those numbers every day. Here's another point the media ignores. Florida's hospitals typically sit at 70 to 80% capacity. They're a business.
Right.
They can't have half of their hospital beds just sitting there in case we get a 1 in 100 year pandemic. That said, the goal always was to buy our hospital systems time to get the PPE, the ventilators, and the other types of equipment and the medicines in place. And we have done that. If Miami, Dade, and Broward need to take stricter measures, absolutely. But that doesn't mean you go to these statewide or nationwide mandates like the left wants to see. And I keep saying, for the data showing us for Floridians under 25, you have a 99.98% chance of survival. 99.98%. You're seeing a 0.02 morbidity rate. That's less than car accidents and some other and some other types of diseases. We have to get our schools back open.
Yes.
We can't get our economy fully going again unless we get kids back in school. And it's the blue collar workers that are being affected most by school shutdowns. A lot of white collar workers can work at home with their kids.
Yep.
It's a blue collar that can't, and I fully support the governor and what he's trying to do.
Yeah, and it is frustrating that we're constantly told that we need science and data. Where is it? Where do we have it? And then when we get it and we have it and we show it, no, we can't do that. Why?
It runs against the narrative. Yeah, it runs against the narrative.
Exactly.
Right. And on the stimulus, very quickly,
yes.
You raised a great point. There are unused monies. There are no reason. One, I want a full accounting of what's still sitting there in the various agency accounts across the executive branch, and then reallocate those monies. If the demand has dropped off or the bureaucracy can't move them fast enough, those, it's fascinating, Drew. Come to Washington, and there is this kind of notion and narrative that there's just this cloud or pot of money in the sky. I hate the term government spending. It's taxpayer spending. It's your money. It's your listeners' money that they have entrusted us with utilizing for the good of the country. And I will not vote for another bill that has that $600 a week federal stimulus on top of the state unemployment.
Right.
That's the other piece the media loses. They're trying to paint us as dropping unemployment from 600 to 200 or to nothing at all, and ignoring the fact that unemployment insurance sits with the states.
Yeah.
And it's based on wages, not a waitress in rural Iowa makes very different wages than downtown Manhattan. Yet we have this flat rate for everyone that's making it impossible for companies to rehire.
Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate, as always, your perspective and what is happening. And I know it has to be frustrating being in D.C. these days, more than ever. There's no doubt. No, and I do appreciate that. And, one day maybe you just take a minute and you relax and you get away to Trump County. You come to Trump County and
we'll come down and visit, Drew. I'd encourage you. The other things happening today are these big tech hearings. With Google, with Amazon, and Facebook and others, and we have to keep a real eye on that. Something I'm very focused on, but maybe another time.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Please, let's do that soon, especially on the heels of what happened with the president and the president's son, and putting him in Twitter jail. And this nonsense just has to stop. All right. We always appreciate a few minutes of your time. He's great. Representative Michael Waltz joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. All right. All the best, sir. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you, Drew.
239-479-5592. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Don't let the phony cancel culture liberals have all the fun. Join the movement.
I was a Trumpster from day one.
Rename Lee County Trump County. Speak up at 925foxnews.com.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Dan Martineau here, owner of D.R. Martineau Roofing of Southwest Florida. We're still finding a lot of roofs with hurricane and windstorm damage. Call us today for a free inspection. Google DRM Roofing or call 239-332-1441.
License number CCC 1326954.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Jason Mon at Mon, Himshoot, and Adams Law Group is your Lee County home rule attorney. Their attorneys are here to fight for both you and your family's rights against outside interference. They'll work hard to make sure your business personal home rule isn't threatened by unjust government regulation or dishonest business transactions. So remember, to protect your home rule, please call Jason Mon, your experienced home rule lawyer, 472-2424. That's 472-2424.
Tee off and swing into summer at Coral Oaks Golf Course in Cape Coral. Come out and enjoy our excellent playing surfaces, beautiful natural surroundings, GPS golf carts, and low summer rates. Play 18 holes every day for just $35 before noon, $30 afternoon, and $25 after 2 p.m. all summer long. You can book tee times up to 7 days in advance at coraloaksgolf.com. We'll see you at Coral Oaks, where every day is a great day.
If you needed heart surgery, who would you call? A doctor who's done it every day, or a doctor who's done it once a year? The same is true about your erectile dysfunction. At the Fort Myers Men's Clinic, our Florida physicians focus on one thing: solving your ED. High blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, prostate cancer, these all contribute to your ED. And our physicians at the Fort Myers Men's Clinic know how to solve your problems. We have over 50 different custom formulations tailored just for you. You get to try the medication containing FDA-approved ingredients right in our office. Your total cost for the consultation, test dose, testosterone, and PSA test is only $99. If the test dose doesn't work, you pay us nothing. So you have absolutely nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Call now. 239-317-7777. That's 239-317-7777. And move from skeptic to believer. 317-7777, 317-7777, or online at fortmyersmensclinic.com.
Looking for a frameless shower door? My Shower Door has just opened their 8th Florida showroom, and it's conveniently located in Cape Coral. With more than 75,000 frameless shower doors installed, no one has more experience and 5-star reviews than My Shower Door. We've been named #1 by readers of the News Press and Naples News for 17 consecutive years and have just been named as Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdor.com.
You know the problem in Washington? Too many politicians are full of should. They should keep promises, should serve the people, should avoid corruption. But when it's time to deliver, it's just a load of should. Then along comes Donald J. Trump, and the D.C. insiders, they lose their should. Byron Donalds is a lot like Trump that way. Donalds is willing to shake things up. You could take Trump's word for it.
I want to thank Representative Donalds. He's got a tremendous future ahead of him.
Now Byron Donalds is running for Congress. Donalds fought for low taxes in Tallahassee. He'll keep fighting to protect your paycheck in Congress. Donalds backs term limits. And Donalds stands with Trump to defend our police. Conservative Republican Byron Donalds for Congress. He'll make a difference in Washington. No should. Paid for by Club for Growth Action. Clubforgrowthaction.org and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Across the country, police departments are being defunded. Criminals are being released en masse, and violent crime is on the rise. But here in Lee County, that's not how we roll. Sheriff Carmine Marcino is on the job, and he knows what to do with violent criminals. Arrest them, prosecute them, put them behind bars.
I'm Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino. Protecting Lee County is my top priority, utilizing technology to implement sophisticated strategies to catch criminals, consistently working to improve our response times, putting more deputies on the street to keep career criminals off them.
It's hard work, but Sheriff Carmine Marcino understands that keeping our neighborhoods, schools, and businesses safe is worth it. That's why Lee County has one of the lowest crime rates in Florida.
I'm Sheriff Carmine Marcino, and I serve to protect you.
Paid electioneering communication paid for by the conservative champion leaders. 133 Harbor Drive, South Venice, Florida, 34285.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have something important that I want to share with you about my good friends Kevin and Todd at AMCO of Bonita Springs. Look, they understand the last thing you need to worry about in 2020 is what to do and where to go when you're having car troubles, right? Their shops know a thing or two about hard times, especially since they opened in 2008. Remember, that was during a recession, and they've worked hard from day one and every day since to make sure they simply do the right thing when it comes to your auto or truck repair needs. Not only are Kevin Todd and the team great conservatives, but they're also very good at what they do when it comes to the maintenance and repairs that you need, whatever that may be. Because look, you rely on that vehicle each day to get you where you need to be. Not only do they do all things related to transmission work, but they even do brakes, air conditioning, check engine light diagnostic, tires, alignments. Look, you name it, they can handle it. Southwest Florida's come to know AMCO Bonita Springs as the place you can trust with your car or truck. So give them a call, will you? 992-2626. That's 239-992-2626. And if it's your first time into the shop, make sure you let them know you heard it right here on 92.5 Fox News.
I'm Harvey Massey. Think about this for a moment. Pest control involves applying pesticides inside your home, whether needed or not. At Massey Services, we just don't do that. We prevent pests from getting inside your home, so we won't have to control them later. Why settle for pest control when you can trust Massey's Pest Prevention? It's guaranteed or your money back. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
That's what sleeping with a CPAP sounds like. If you can't use CPAP, imagine pressing a button and it sounding like this. That's sleeping with Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with one click of a remote. That's right, just a button. If you have sleep apnea, great sleep awaits at inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
This Wink News Update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News. Right now, potential Tropical Cyclone 9 is spinning towards Puerto Rico. People there are preparing for flash flooding and mudslides. On the free Wink weather app, you can see the new forecast track for the storm, which is possibly making its way to Florida by the weekend. Today, Naples will discuss mandating masks in the city. Collier County already has a mask mandate in place. That meeting will start at 8:30 this morning. Trust Wink News to be there. We're learning more about this school survey put out by Lee Schools. A little less than half of parents have not taken it. 41% want face-to-face instruction for their children. 39% have opted for the Lee Home Connect, which allows kids to follow with class from home and return when they're ready. 19% have opted for Lee Virtual School, and 1% want homeschooling. Parents have until Thursday night to respond to the survey. We are seeing more positive trends at our hospitals. Both Lee Health and NCH saw a decrease in the amount of COVID patients they're treating. Lee Health says it's treating 248 people for the virus. NCH is treating 105 COVID patients. They still have plenty of bed capacity at the NCH hospital system. They're at 30%. We now know a 17-year-old is accused of attacking a teenage girl. Investigators have asked for your help to find KJ for a sex crime investigation. They believe he lives in Cape Coral and hangs out near the beach pub on Fort Myers Beach. If you can help, call Crime Stoppers at 800-780-TIPS. The case against the man accused of murdering a woman and her husband is on hold. Deanna Lorenzo and her husband Seraphin were shot in an Estero parking lot back in 2018. The court's pausing the case against Alex Zeffelhofer because of the pandemic. Zeffelhofer and another man are accused of killing the Lorenzos after trying to buy guns from them. Prosecutors have not decided whether to pursue the death penalty. I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News.
Wink News traffic.
Wednesday morning commute still pretty busy on Cypress Lake heading westbound towards McGregor Boulevard. Also delays over that Midpoint Bridge into Fort Myers. Southbound slowdowns on Tree Line heading to Daniels Parkway. And I-75 is up to speed. So that is some great news for your midweek commute heading to and from Lee and Collier County. The Trip to the Minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, afternoon and evening, pop-up scattered showers and storms on a hot and humid day. Temperature of 93 with our heat index over 100. Gets even hotter Thursday, Friday, mid-90s, but with also a lower rain coverage. Only a few here and there. And then into the weekend, we do watch the possibility of a developing tropical system. A lot of moving parts, still a bit early here. But for right now, scattered showers and storms and breezy. But that forecast is always subject to change. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
When your liberal relatives from up north come for a month, turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Run all along.
Steven Tomatoes, sports page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
It's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page. Do you feel like you're the forgotten person in this great country, working hard all your life and contributing to this country's greatness, but taken for granted by our politicians' quest for voters? Using their slogan, more taxes will set you free. At Stevie's, you are not forgotten. We love our customers and never want them to feel forgotten. We deliver the value you deserve with our food, service, and pricing. Making our customers feel special is our happiness. As the owner of Stevie Tomatoes, we cater to the forgotten person. Those of you who go about every day doing what it takes for them and their family while contributing to this country's greatness, its culture and values. I personally invite you to allow us to be a small part of what makes you feel special, and we promise to obtain your complete satisfaction. I guarantee it. For daily specials, go to StevieTomato.com. Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. Come, come, come.
We are Moran Wealth Management. Passionate about learning what's important to you and your family. Personable, with 24 professionals dedicated to attentive, customized service and focused on client relationships. Performance-driven. As part of Barron's top 1,200 advisors, Tom Moran, founder, CEO, and senior PIM portfolio manager, is Florida's highest-ranked advisor for 2019. Call 239-920-4440 today or visit MoranWealthManagement.com. Moran Wealth Management. Passionate, personable, performance-driven. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
If you're far from water, you might think a flood can't happen to you. But the truth is, there are hidden risks that can leave your property vulnerable, like runoff from new development, changing weather patterns, and even wildfires. But if you have flood insurance, you have peace of mind knowing that you can recover faster. Protect the life you've built. Visit floodsmart.gov/storm to learn more. Brought to you by FEMA and its National Flood Insurance Program.
That's what sleeping with a CPAP sounds like. If you can't use CPAP, imagine pressing a button and it sounding like this. That's sleeping with Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with one click of a remote. That's right, just a button. If you have sleep apnea, great sleep awaits at inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
State right 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592 is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. We stream live each and every day on YouTube and Facebook as well. But here's the thing. If you enjoy watching, and if you'd like to get an alert to know when we are streaming live so you can watch and listen, we appreciate you subscribing to the channel. It's free. Just hit the subscribe button, go to YouTube, and type in Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's, and right there you can see us, watch us like you're doing right now. And like I said, please hit the subscribe button. It helps to keep us going. All right, time for the top 5 audio clips of the day. Here we go. It's the 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
Isn't that correct?
No. What is correct is that, what is corrected on February 10th, Monday, I gave instructions as to what
Reclaiming my time.
Yeah, I'm answering your question.
Well, you got to let him answer. Reclaiming my time.
On February 10th,
sir.
On February 10th, I directed.
Reclaiming my time, sir. Reclaiming my time, and I know you don't want to answer.
You are wrong, Mr. Attorney General. He's found the investigation had been initiated properly.
He said he found
reclaiming my time without political bias.
He said he
and
found
in
no
April,
evidence.
reclaiming my time.
I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. If you're trying to figure out what exactly happened yesterday with Attorney General Barr on Capitol Hill at the House Judiciary Committee, why in the world he would be there to have to answer to House members, mostly Democrats, as to why we would bring federal groups into major metropolitan cities to stop anarchists like Antifa from burning down buildings. You didn't get the answer because Democrats wouldn't allow you to give the answer because it was all a big circus, and it was what they intended it to be, a big, giant circus going after Attorney General Barr. And every time he tried to answer a question, that's what it was all about. It was all about them grandstanding and trying to make him look bad. And he got some gotchas in. Don't you worry about it. You'll hear them coming up.
Number 4.
So it sort of is curious. A man works for us, with us very closely, Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx, also highly thought of. And yet they're highly thought of, but nobody likes me. It can only be my personality. That's all. Go ahead.
She brought that up yesterday. The president at the coronavirus task team press conference, people talking about Dr. Fauci. And why did you say Dr. Fauci is joining Democrats and failing the American people? Like, is that what you really believe? And what's going on? And the president's like, well, hold on a second. Everybody is talking about how great Dr. Fauci is, Dr. Birx, and, the CDC, and going on and on about everything that is fantastic about them. And they even say that the president has been siding with them a majority of the time. Pretty much everything they asked for, he has given it to them. And for some reason, everybody talks about Dr. Fauci as the end-all be-all. He's so awesome. He's fantastic. But he agrees with the president when the president brings up exactly what they're talking about on the side of Dr. Fauci and saying, I agree. No. For some reason, you all hate the president. And the president's like, well, hold on a second. You guys are just showing who you are. You hate me no matter what I do.
Number 3.
It's really, he was like a blob. He was like just a henchman for the president of the United States, instead of the Attorney General of the United States of America.
Did you expect anything less from Nancy Pelosi when asked on CNN about the performance of the Attorney General? And by the way, the answer to that was Nancy Pelosi's answer to a question about her using the words stormtrooper, referring to Nazi Germany stormtroopers as the group of federal officers who were in Portland to stop Antifa rioters, no matter what time of the day they were doing it, from burning down a federal building, standing there to try to protect the building. Somehow she references them as stormtroopers, doesn't take that back, but decides to call the Attorney General a blob and a henchman. And you know what we think about that.
Bowl of doggy do.
Pretty much.
Number 2.
Why isn't it true?
June, I'll get to that, Mr. Barr.
I mean, does it have to
Mr. Barr,
do with
I
quibbling
will get
over...
to that. Reclaiming my time. You answered the question.
Okay.
I have another question for you. On June 19th of
No,
2020...
actually, I need to answer that question.
Mr. Attorney General, you did answer the question.
No, you said under penalty of perjury. I'm going to answer the damn question.
Woo! Yes, that was Attorney General Barr, and just one of the many comebacks that he had yesterday. And the fantastic... he is awesome. It doesn't take any from Democrats. It's like, listen, you're telling me I'm under the penalty of perjury and you're not allowing me to answer the questions? No. I'm going to answer your questions because I understand what a penalty of perjury means. Just because there are some people that don't understand that and some people that might feel it's okay to perjure, or just because there might be people who are willing to, I don't know, let me say something outrageous, weaponize the American government against an American citizen. I don't know who would do something like that just because you're okay with it. Yeah, that guy.
Number 1.
Hello, I'm Dr. Stella Emanuel. I'm a primary care physician in Houston, Texas. You know, I actually went to medical school in West Africa, Nigeria, where I took care of malaria patients, treated them with hydroxychloroquine and stuff like that. So I'm actually used to these medications. I'm here because I have personally treated over 350 patients with COVID. Patients that have diabetes, patients that have high blood pressure, patients that have asthma, old people. I think my oldest patient is 92, 87-year-olds. And the result has been the same. I put them on hydroxychloroquine, I put them on zinc, I put them on Zitromax, and they are all well. For the past few months, I've taken care of over 350 patients. We've not lost one. Not a diabetic, not somebody with high blood pressure, not somebody with asthma, not an old person. We've not lost one patient.
Just in case you were wondering why the president, and specifically Don Jr., were put in Twitter jail yesterday because of something they retweeted, and what was so offensive that they had to be put into Twitter jail, and that it had to be taken off of social media completely by Twitter and Facebook. Even though people kept trying to put it up, they kept taking it down. The offensive part was America's frontline doctors, and specifically that one particular doctor who was touting the use of the dreaded word hydroxychloroquine.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
That's the audio that many people missed, that didn't get a chance to see and hear. And when people were saying, well, why did Don Jr. get taken off of Twitter? It was because he retweeted America's Frontline Doctors who went to Washington, D.C., these doctors that were saying, listen, we got to get back to school. The evidence shows that it's something that we should be doing. A particular doctor there that you heard from who was making the case, a doctor from Houston, Texas, Dr. Stella Emanuel, who was saying that she treated hydroxychloroquine, patients with hydroxychloroquine and Z-Pak and zinc. And out of the 350 patients she has helped or given the treatment, she has not lost one single person, one of the oldest being 92 years of age. And why are we not allowed to hear that and see that and know about that? People might ask questions. Why is that the case? What is so offensive? You know, the Twitter and Facebook are trying to make it sound as if, you know, this is misinformation. You can't put this information out there. This is not true. CNN and others saying that this is horrible. How dare you put this out there? Why? I mean, if you have evidence to the contrary, show us the 100% evidence that would prove that what they are talking about is dangerous. Because I can give you a Newsweek article right now with a Yale professor, I know how libs love Yale, that says, hey, listen, we want to save lives right now. And I am someone who is a professor of epidemiology, 300 peer-reviewed publications, and we got to start giving people hydroxychloroquine because it's inexpensive and it works. And we want to save lives, don't we? I mean, if we are doctors, don't we want to save lives? That's what it's about. I mean, it's something, again, I brought up with the FDA commissioner yesterday when I said, listen, you brought up all these therapeutics. You didn't mention once hydroxychloroquine. Look, if you have a patient as a doctor-patient relationship and you want to save that patient's life and you believe hydroxychloroquine works, certainly you are giving it to your patients. I mean, you would do that. You wouldn't hold it back from somebody because the president of the United States said it was a good idea to give it to people and you hate the president so much you would deny them a life-saving drug. Right? You wouldn't do that, would you? Of course not. Of course he says he wouldn't do that. No, neither would anybody else. So is the dirty little secret maybe that, well, that's something else that she was talking about on social media that you haven't heard? I mean, are people taking it right now as a prophylactic? Are there doctors or nurses and doctors in hospitals that are taking it, frontline workers that are protecting themselves with it? And whether or not we can see whether or not that's the case. Why would you do that? Why would you not tell us if it is work? And again, here's something very interesting that I read about, and I'm trying to find exactly where it is. So if you're asking me for the documentation, I don't have it, but I can find it. That we were told that Africa was going to be an epidemic epicenter, a hotbed, because of the concerns about how healthcare is in places like Nigeria and Congo and other locations, and how we were going to be able to serve those individuals and help those individuals and Nigeria. And it turns out that we're not hearing a whole lot about those specific areas, and the numbers are not proving to be what we were told was such a dire situation. Some are saying, and I think what Dr. Stella Emanuel was commenting on is the fact that there is a common denominator as to why those countries are not seeing the kind of outbreaks that we thought we might see with COVID. And some are saying that the reason why is because they have been treated with hydroxychloroquine for malaria across the board for years and years. They continue to be, because those are the places where you're going to find malaria the most. And it may have been acting and may continue to be acting right now as a prophylactic in those areas. That was something that was brought up by a physician, and I can't remember who, but I'll find that. Is that true or not? Is anybody exploring the possibility? You know, we come to find out, for example, that some interesting information about here in the state of Florida. We come to find out, thanks to the news press, that COVID-19 patient numbers are declining at Southwest Florida hospitals. Well, that's very interesting. We're starting to see the numbers leveling out. And I said to you last week that it will be interesting to see how the mask debate goes, because there's going to be mask mandates that are going to be talked about for the next few weeks. We're going to continue to hear this today and in other areas. And how do mask mandates work? Remember, I said that a mask mandates, if you're going to look at states, for example, everybody's demanding that the governor do something about mask mandates here in the state. We can look at California as an example. They've had mask mandates since the beginning of June, and their cases have gone up 162%. That's not a good thing, is it? But I said that it's going to be a lose-lose situation when it comes to masks, because if the cases go up, we'll hear, well, the cases are going up because you're not doing mask mandates. And if the cases start to go down, we're going to hear, well, that's good. Everybody has been doing the right thing. You've all been doing wearing your masks, and that's what's making it better, although there's no evidence to show that, but it sure looks good. And guess what? That's exactly what's being discussed right now as far as why the coronavirus cases in our area have gone down. And we have people that are saying in the healthcare system that, and I think even Larry Aftanucci was mentioning that and saying that we haven't let our guard down. We've been good and we've been vigilant. And it's because you've been wearing masks and social distancing. And that's why the numbers are going down. Good for you. Well, it is interesting as well how on Commissioner Brian Hammond's Facebook page, we come to find out that he has been looking at this for the past 4 weeks and tracking Florida's counties that have mask requirements in place. And he has a chart that shows 3 other counties that have a similar population and mask requirements in place. And if you look at the chart, guess what, everybody? It is the same downward trend, almost identical, from the places that have mask mandates to the counties like ours that don't. How do you explain that? Why are we making decisions based on the feels? Like it just feels good to make a mask mandate, to force you to wear masks when we don't even have counties in the state of Florida that can give us an example that the cases have gone down because of masks. We haven't had a mask mandate in Lee County. The cases are going down. Just want to explore that. I'm not saying you shouldn't wear masks. I'm not saying that you're wrong for doing it. I'm not saying that you're necessarily wrong for asking for it, but please base it on evidence and data that would show that it works, as opposed to, we got to do something. And that's all. All right, we need to take a break, Jake. Let's do that right now. But also, you know what? Before you take a break, Jake. Okay, I hear the music, but that's okay. I'll keep talking. I want to remind everybody that Trump County is starting to build. There are people that are buzzing about it. It's exciting. And you are helping this to happen. The cancel culture coming along and saying, yeah, we're going to cancel out Lee County because Robert E. Lee County, yeah, we're going to make it whatever we feel like. No. I get ahead of that. And so do you. We'll change Lee County to Trump County. And a lot of people getting on board. Change.org. The signatures are going up. Thanks to you. And soon we're going to be talking about, and get ready, because all of you have been submitting some interesting, incredible logo official seal ideas. We're going to be having that coming up, and that's going to be exciting because you will be a part of it. I mean, we got to have one, right? We got to have an official seal of Trump County. And so that's going to be coming up tomorrow and Friday, and we're excited about that discussion and giving you time to look and maybe make a decision. So we'll talk about that more tomorrow. All right, let's find out what's happening right now with the remainder of our forecast with Wink News meteorologist Matt Devitt.
Get ready for a hot and humid Wednesday, 93 degrees, sunshine with clouds mixing in.